Good evening, Club Cult. I come to you with my assistant, Zeke. Oh, I thought you were gonna meow. I thought you were gonna talk to your people. Does that mean you're getting better with holds? Or you just really want lap right now, so you're putting up with it? Here's the Z-Man with the plan. Good evening, everybody. Pulls out of purgatories. And we are right where we need to be. What do you think about that, Z? You're very cute. Very cute. You have to go feed your stepchildren in a few minutes. We're gonna get a little bit ready for the night first. I missed you, Beebs, yesterday, but it was Serena Day. And I accomplished never all of the things, but many of the things. And head pats for that. Nuked the baby's room to sanitation. Got the boys' room all tidied. Got the kitchen tidied. That's about all that matters. So much laundry. I'm still doing baby laundry. So much. Not really. It's only like 3 loads. But the blankets be thick. And I don't like to run my dryer on high heat. So I run it twice on low heat, which probably isn't very efficient. The last time I ran it on high heat, and this is just purely anxiety filled, the vent needed to be cleaned. So like, yes, it was fluffy, but it made like the burnt hair dryer smell. And now the out pipe for it is clean, but I'm afraid to run it on high. So this is one problem I don't need to deal with. Did change the furnace filter the other day though, and I'm proud of myself for that. I'm afraid to go into the creepy room / utility room in the winter. It's a daunting experience. See, because we did that once and the furnace was on fire, and that was not fun. I have to like prep myself up for it, like big breaths. Breathe through. Calm oneself. Prepare. Welcome to V. Hope you're having a lovely night so far. Happy Purrsday. Foyer, are you coming in with some Purrsday well wishes? Just got the well wishes for everybody. Jiggy, you just got a lap. Make some space for you. Mr. Voya. Oh, I tilted my mirror. Weird. There we go. Alright, we are cosplayed as awake, mostly. Mostly. Week as we're getting for tonight. Brought my car in for tires today. We gotta go pick it up in the morning, Zeke. I love my mechanic, but like all men, he's so straightforward. So I called. He's like, "Well, did you call Discount Tire first?" And I'm like, "No, I just call you guys." It's like, call Discount Tire. So I did. And they're not bad, thankfully. Well, we'll see if they're actually physically not bad, but price-wise, it wasn't as painful as it could have been. I feel like I paid at least half as much as the cost of all 4 tires for 1 tire when I had to go up to Firestone a few years ago. Because I ran over a nail. Plot twist, I ran over a nail again. I think I probably did like a month ago. But the weather going back and forth probably caused the rubber to expand and contract and finally say, nope. We can't take this anymore. We're gonna be a flat tire. Shout out to Grandpa for helping fill the tires, though. I have my grandfather's air compressor, and it's a lovely little beast. It's kind of a weak little beast, but it's a lovely little beast. Thought I was doing something wrong at first, though. I forgot it was like a tiny guy, even though it's physically a tiny guy. I had to keep stopping and checking the PSI and then putting it back on. Which is kind of annoying because my cord only went to like 6 feet away from my car. So it'd stop and crawl back, stop, crawl back, stop, crawl back. It's so cold today, but I'm not allowed to complain because it's gonna get so much colder the next few days. I might just set up the AstroTurf for the dogs because it's gonna be feeling below 0 and like, oh, whoa, 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 oh.
Hi, Serena.
What had happened was, welcome Electro Rob. How are you doing tonight? Are you Pavloved? Boy is giving me a sussy look. Zeke, I don't think you can have treats tonight. We gotta wait for your prescription treats to get there. Thank you so much, Electro Rob. Thank you for the 7 months. Thank you for being the wonderful human that you are. We have ding ding ding, an awesome human alert over here. Thank you oh so much. Thank you for supporting the Stream the Dreams project. Thank you for being a part of the holidays. Ow! And I hope the week has been kind to you so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm a psychic. I already have a star up on here with your name on it. Hi, baby boy. Okay, Zeke is on his way. He says, give me treats now. What if we try kibbles? Kibbles for, we'll do the doggy method. Kibbles for treats. It's not gonna hurt you guys to have pieces of Zeke's food. Ah ha ha. Let's try it. See how that works. You guys are gonna be excited because it's not your food. Zeke might not care though. Oh, Kibble. Oh, Kibble. Oh yes, everyone eat the expensive prescription food. That's wonderful. That's perfect. But hold on, greedy. Are you so greedy? Are you a greedy boy? Okay, Zeke gets 3 at a time. You finished them in the time it took me to give them 1. Oh my god, Zeke. There you go. Waiting for his prescription treats to get here so that he can indulge properly. That worked though, that was perfect. Yay. The treat of kibbles. Forbidden kibbles. Prescription kibbles. Doing okay? Nice. I'm doing alright. Tired, but I'm always tired. That's nothing new. We're doing good. You're just in time for me to dilly-dally before hopping in with the babies. The little beans. The little beans. Oh snap! Oh, that was sneaky! So my sub sound is big and giant and bigger than it should be, but then this one is silent, or can you set it to be silent? Is that a new feature? Thank you for the 10 gifted! Thank you! Thank you for supporting the holidays. Thank you for supporting the Stream the Dreams project. Thank you! I don't think the boys can have that many treats, though. Welcome, Lorna. Hope you're having a lovely night so far. Thank you! Thank you. You get to claim 2 of the kitty ornaments. I'm kind of guessing that you'll claim the kittens, but you have options of everyone. These are claimed. Tank is claimed, Daisy is claimed, and Kid is claimed. You have your choice from a plethora of zoo. See, it doesn't feel like a lot of cats walking around the house, but then I look at the ornaments and I'm like, damn, that's a lot of cats. You got 2. The babies. I had a feeling. Ooh, ooh. Stripes, forgive me for the stripes that I gave her. I don't know how to paint stripes. She's a unique girl. Bless you, Zeekers. Thank you so, so much. Merci beaucoup. I do. And that's okay. We're a house full of love. House full of love. We up our count, do our tags, and then bop in with the babies. Can you stop sneezing? Oh my goodness. Oh, I have 2 from earlier to put up. Thank you. Oh, this is big difficult math. Plus 2 from 28 is 30. Plus 10 is 40. Sheesh! You're all wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you! Stripes is the firstborn. And Nibbler is the lastborn. Stripes is number 1. Nibbler is number 3. Bless you, my goodness! I'm not neglecting my children. Zeke is going to the vet tomorrow. I'm not neglecting. I know he's sneezing up a storm. So Stripes, I guess, is technically the oldest. Because she was born around 3:30 a.m. And then Daisy was born around 7:30 a.m. And Nibbler took a while. Nibbler had to call emergency around 11, and I was like, the third baby hasn't come out yet. Should I be worried? And then about 11:30, she popped her out. And Void was like, okay, I guess I'll give you this one. Get their little tags, make it official. I think so. They're good placeholder names. They're not good long-term names. You know? They're not really personality made. Although I feel like Daisy fits her personality. I still don't know how loud that clinks on my microphone, if it's obnoxious. Oh my goodness. It was a bit nerve-wracking. I probably should have panicked more, but I was very tired. We got like a couple of little dustings, but nothing significant. I think most of the snow is supposed to come tomorrow, and it's gonna drop temperatures big tomorrow. I don't want to. I don't want to have it. I'm done with the snow. And now Nibbler is claimed. Aww. Thank you, thank you. God, this reminds me, I need to touch up my nails insanely. I need to figure out how to get the old fancy nail stuff off. It's very, very solid. Got hammered with it. Oh no. Oh no. I can only imagine so. I feel like whenever there's a new round of snow too, like it's a week or so in between snows, people should be cautious. But they forget how to drive all over again. And then you're behind someone going 20 when you could at least be going 40. And it's like, dang, have you not learned? Bless you. I guess I don't need the light on so we can see you anymore. I have a light under my desk for other stream purposes, but it's now become my Zeke light so we can see him when he's on my lap. Not good at snow removal. I would imagine not. I remember driving back up through Illinois through when we had the polar vortex, but like after. I think I waited it out until it was like 5 days gone in the Illinois region. And it was yucky. It was very yucky. It wasn't until I was maybe like an hour and a half away from home that the roads started to be a bit more cleared. But I don't think they send the plow trucks through until it stops snowing. Just like residential out here. They don't send the plows in until it stops snowing. And it's like, fuck you, man. If it snows for like 12 hours and there's like a foot, What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I can't dig out the whole street. So foolish. I mean, I'm all for safety, you know, be mindful. Don't push yourself past your limits when it's snowy and cold and dangerous, but you gotta learn how to drive in this shit if you're gonna live out here. You just gotta. You're here on vacation, you don't need to be driving. Just stay home. Though why anyone would vacation in Chicago in the winter, I don't know. Crazy people. Go, Gunther, go! What's up, Mr. Z? What's up? Oh, it is like that on the main roads for you guys, too. That sucks. I hate it just in the neighborhood, but it's always a relief when I get out of the neighborhood and it's like the roads are clear. But I would definitely still need to have my truck if it was messy, messy, messy. Oh, I just got your message. Oh no, car trouble. Uh-oh. Car troubles. That's no bueno. But better to be safe. Better to be safe. We're twinning right now. My car is in the shop right now. I'm so sorry you're having car troubles. That's rough. That's very rough. Hopefully something easily and reasonable you fixed. We're crossing fingers and paws. I had to take an Uber to the dentist earlier, and my driver on the way home was talking about how their car was out of commission because they ran over a chunk of ice and ripped their catalytic converter. It's like, holy shit. Oh no! Bambi, why must you do that to Electra, Rob? Why? 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 Oh, poor exhaust. And on the highway, too. It was probably a nerve-wracking time getting the car back to safety. Oh my goodness. Larnona says, I switched to a different streamer for less than 5 minutes and she deadass got booty-ass naked. Why aren't you still watching her? I would want to be. Why did you leave? It's simply illogical. Crossing fingers and paws for a smooth repair. Oh, so now you have to watch the TOS abiding streamers. My condolences. We can get our Go Cam on and we're gonna hop in with the babies. Go see the beans. Tank test us on both sides. There we go. Beautiful. Well, she clearly logged into the wrong site. Wrong stream key at that point. Oopsies. That scares me. I've done that a couple times, but not to the point of, like, actually streaming. That's part of why I like having my starting soon. It allows me to, mentally regroup to where I am. Bop on our Go Cam. Go Cam sauce. Where did you go? There. Audio should be good. If it sounds like I'm underwater, can someone please let me know? That means I have to reset everything. Not really, just Go Cam. Likes to do that when my phone is dying, but it did it just at random. Don't understand why. Alright. Let's get on the move. Now instead of Saturday, we just gotta visit with the kittens early. It's kismet. It's perfect. It's meant to be. Siki. Those are some very big words. Very big words from a small man. Excuse me, Gunther. Okay, I guess I paid the troll toll. Gunther was guarding the door. He gets so frustrated when the snowplows go by. Like, he gets grumpy. He gets all defensive at the door. I got Chauncey on this side of the house. I got Gunther over here. Like, I am safe. I am safe. Gunther's a little guard cat. He's a little gargoyle. I love that for him. I'm proud. Aw, snuggly sisters. Oh, good morning. Good morning. It's 10 p.m., but good morning. Good morning, Miss Nibbler. Stripes is a couch girly. So the easiest way to tell them apart is number 3 has just a little splooch of white on her belly. And, come here, Stripes. Number 1 has a spot. Like, if you look at them long enough, you see the difference in their faces a little bit, and Stripes is Stripes. But just at first glance, I have to check them like that sometimes. Who's who? Who's doing what? Who's where? Who's why? You're so silly. Can you get your foods? You guys are in charge for a minute. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Don't do anything naughty. Just kidding. You don't do anything naughty. You are God's perfect creatures. Yeah, it is simple enough. I'm grateful they have their little spots. Daisy, are you... She won't look at me. Why? Is it because I gave you medicine earlier? I love you. Little EP girl. Inspector Stripes. Inspector Stripes. You had to do that with your girls when they were little. The hardest part was when they were born, telling them apart. I had to be very, very mindful. You guys are so cute and silly. All right, let's get some food. Right now they're getting a little bit of chicken noodle soup mixed in with their food, so they eat super extra good. Their appetites aren't bad by any means. They're just not as good as they could be because the antibiotics upset their tummy. Now that they're bigger, you can tell unless it's dark. I feel like staring at these guys long enough, you can tell the difference. Although I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Void and Zeke in the dark. They're similarly sized. Guys are so silly. So silly. You're in charge. You're in charge. Don't press buttons. Here, grab some food and soup. Some chicken noodle soup. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Tiny. Hello. I know, we gotta get those calories and electrolytes back in you. Their tummies are starting to feel a little better, which is awesome. Well, you two are. Daisy's still getting there. Daisy was the last one to get sick, though, so she's going to be the last one to get better. They are so pretty, and they know it. Little princesses. Little princess firstborn. Yes. She's more a wily player, but oh, does she love belly rubs. Oh, does she love belly rubs? I'm surprised you're actually letting me hold you this long. Because you know you're cute. Because you know you're cute. Okay. And little Miss Thirdborn is a bit more snuggly. She greets me at the door, tail up, purring, happy. Her and Daisy do. Stripes is just like, hey, did you bring the food? Did you bring the toys? Is it playtime? Hello, baby. Hello, baby. I'm going to miss you so much, but I'm so excited for you to go to a wonderful new home. Yes. Little Bean. I'm so grateful they're feeling better too. Oh my goodness. That was scary. I know, you see the soup. Stripes loves food. You're gonna have another one of those on your hand. She loves the idea of food. Chicken soup, especially. You're a wily girl. You're a wily coyote. I'm so grateful you guys are feeling betters. I think sometimes the zoo just likes to keep me on my toes. That's okay. They're cute. They're worth it. You're gonna knock the tripod over, honey. What you doing? What you doing? You're gonna knock that over. I know, you're a little lover girl. You're a little lover girl. What you doing? Can we make your food? How would you say her name? Io? She ate some turkey sandwich. You're gonna have another one of those on your hands. Oh, not this one. This one. Did she eat it with permission? Or just because she could? Is the next question. Get some extra hydrations. Some extra hydrations. Eo. Okay, cute. Eo. Is that gonna be your sister's name? Is that your sister's name? That's gonna be your sister? I would have thought it was low if you didn't put the lowercase when you explained it to me. But I was thinking, like, is it Io or EO? I guess wrong. I guess wrong. That's okay. That is so cute. You guys are gonna have the most epic names. She always has permission to eat your food. Aw. She's a lucky girl. She's a lucky little Kimpton. Hear that? You got turkey sandwiches in your future waiting for you. You got all the good stuff waiting for you. Yes. Not just this kibbles and bits nonsense. All the good stuff. Wonder how they'll feel about people food. I haven't eaten food in here with them since they were like born and tiny. Obviously, they're interested in chicken soup, but I wonder how they'll feel about it. I'm stingy. I haven't tried to give them any treats either. Because one, upset tummies, and I didn't know what treats to look for babies. I think most of them say like over 12 weeks of age is okay to feed. So we could do treats now. But let's get your tummies in order first. Let's get your tummies in order first. Yes. I know, I hear you. I'm just a slow lady. I'm just a slow lady. I'm so patient. So patient. And this font, the I and the L are identical. I'm grateful for you showing me the lowercase. Io is a Greek goddess, but she's also a moon around Saturn. Ooh, to fancy. To fancy. Welcome, Cygenics. Oh, would she be a goddess from? Is she named after another wrestler or named after the goddess? We're getting it. We're getting it. It's a multi-tiered process. Need your that you just Daisy just smacked my butt. I'm telling Mom. Daisy touched my butt. She smacked it. I'm telling Mom on you. Right. Chicken soup. Chicken soup. Chicken soup. Why don't you try this with Munster if he doesn't want to eat again at some point? I know he loves his Popeyes fried chicken. Love that chicken from Popeyes. But I wonder if the chicken soup would do the trick for him. You don't get much liquid except for the grease. Oops, chicken. Come on. Food. 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 What's the food sound? Food. Little crunchy munchies. Most of the planets or moons have origins with Greek and Roman mythology names. That is true, they do. I don't think about that much anymore. I need to be more of a celestial being. Crunchy munchies. Munchy hungers. Munchy hungers. She's named after the wrestler Io Shirai. Ooh. You guys are going to be throwing down. You have to build them a wrestling ring now. Or like modify a, what is it, the red and blue robot ones? The sock and bop and robots. You have to get them a wrestling ring. Io is a human that Zeus got with. Ooh, oh baby. He turned her into a cow so Hera wouldn't find out. Oh, what a simpler time the Greek days were. You know, you want to fuck around on your bitch, you just turn your hoe into a cow when you're done with her, and no chance of it coming back to bite you. Oh, the Greeks had it so good. Oh my goodness. I know there's more like philosophical points to these stories and lessons, etc. But when you dumb them down, they're hilarious. Knowing Greek mythology, her being a cow wouldn't stop Zeus. Moo on over here, baby. It's a moon of Jupiter too. Jupiter's moons are named after the humans he got with. Jupiter has a lot of moons, doesn't it? But I mean, Zeus fucked around a lot too. It didn't. He would turn into a bull to get with her. I mean, when you really want to get your dick wet, you really find a way to get your dick wet, I guess. At least he kept it species appropriate. Think we got some litter box action going on here. Just BBs? Oh no, we're still figuring it out. What are we doing? What are we doing? I think Nibbler? Yes, Nibbler. Just some peepees. Still just some peepees. Daisy, you look like you're waiting for like your task list to be activated. Like her head is just like loading, and she's waiting for something to queue up. Like when you start a computer and all of the processes start running, she's waiting for someone to press her start button. Saturn has like most like 300 moons. Jeez, that's a heck of a body count. Wow. Yeah, that exactly. That emote exactly. She's oh my golly. Aw, I'm so upset. Well, the twins left the visual here. I'm so excited for them though. I'm gonna be so sad.
but I'm gonna be so excited. It makes me happy. They're gonna get 100% of all of the love and attention and affection and snacks and treats and all the amazingness. And I am so hyped for them. So they could get that here, but only to like a 50% off. I'm so grateful. They're gonna have an awesome home. Now, Daisy, we just gotta find someone to scoop you up. I love you forever. it's just loading. Are you feeling okay before I make fun of you too hard? She's not very high energy tonight. Usually Daisy is moving and grooving. What's up? You're not very high energy tonight. Did you just play hard earlier? Oh, now it's bath time. Okay. Bath time. Do not ever say sorry for not being around. Do what you gotta do. You know how I feel about time. Whether it's 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hours, so I don't see you again for 2 years. When our times collide, it's beautiful, magical, amazing. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for taking the time to stop by tonight. Thank you again so much for the time gifted. Thank you for being a part of the holidays and the Stream the Dreams project. And more than anything, thank you for being wonderful you. Have a beautiful rest of your night and try and get some sleep. Stay warm. Stay warm. Don't ever be sorry. It's the only time I'll get violent with you all. Don't be sorry. Yes, you're definitely gonna have to save your energy when you're a kid and dead. I'm gonna have to start knocking their feed schedule back once their tummies are 100% better post-spay. To like twice a day for the wet food, like I've been wanting to do. Because otherwise they'll be at you 4 times a day for wet food, which is insane. Will you get scooped up? You're pretty. I think she's so beautiful. How can everyone just say no to you? Don't we say yes to Daisy? We say yes to Daisy. We'll see you soon. I'm here, in here, somewhere. Thank you so much again. Why are you low energy? Let's figure this one out. Let's figure this one out. Her little booger is the cutest. I love it. I think that's what I love most about her look. I don't really care what they look like. I love them no matter what, but I love her booger. I'm partial to boogers. Little babbies. You can scoot around and do your thing. Oh, good job, solid poops! We got solid poops. We got solid poops. Who just pooped solid? Which one are you? Stripes? Yes. Okay. So Stripes is pooping solid today. We have so fun of chats on here lately. Poop talk hour with Serena. It's poop talk Purrsday. Got solid poops from Stripes today. So in the next 48 hours, Nibbler should be pooping solid. And then within 48 hours from that forward, Daisy should be pooping solid. Do it. Poop solid. Poop solid. Oh, I need to put the Campbell's can away because we have a nosy baby. Nosy Stripes. Is a pool joke there about stripes and solids? Oh god, I completely forgot about. That's so funny. How have we not made a reference to pool with them yet? I actually like playing pool. I'm not very good at it. I'd like to be able to practice, like, if given the opportunity and ample time to do so. I enjoy it, though. This is a string that we don't need that's just gonna go in a drawer because we don't have a garbage in here. And pop these in the fridge so someone stops being a gremlin about it. My little baby gremlin. I love you, but you're a gargoyle for soup. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of you and your butt. I'm so proud of you. Do you like that song? Ba. They don't like when I sing Bohemian Rhapsody, but I guess they like that song. What is that song? I don't need anything to get me through the night, 'cause the music does me good and it keeps me satisfied. Whatever that one is, apparently we like. But if I sing Mama, ooh, that they look at me like. Case in point. Mama. I think that song just has too much like from the throat. It's too guttural almost, even though it's like a softer song. There's too much strength to the voice. It worries them. However, apparently they like the other song, or they were okay with it. You got pretty good years ago. I'm jealous. That's awesome. Grandma had a pool table in the basement, and every holiday you'd have family tournaments. Oh, that's so neat. Aww. My aunt and uncle have a pool table, and both my uncles, used to play in pool leagues. My youngest uncle still might. I don't quite know. But my oldest uncle definitely stopped. But I never got the chance to practice at family stuff because they would always be competitive with each other. And then my dad, being the middle child asshole that he is, has no. So when you're playing like in tournaments and like not professionally, but like in a league or whatever, you have like a cue that is perfect for you. Welcome, Funky. I hope you're having a wonderful night so far. We are perfect tonight. We're in perfect company with Club Gold and the kittens. Like you want to have like a nice pool cue. Giggity. I feel like there's a giggity somewhere. I don't know. The stick. Giggity. Again. And my dad, for one Christmas, went out and bought one that's novelty with Bart Simpson on it, making some kind of lewd gesture. I think like grabbing his junk or whatever. And my dad brought that to play with for Christmas, and my uncles did not find it funny. Just like one more time of him not taking this seriously. Gotta chalk the tip, giggity. I still don't understand. I understand why that is important, but I find it to be annoying to do. But that was one of my favorite things to do when I would go to bars when I was younger, like less than 21. Still don't understand how, but I would mostly go to bars or play pool. And that's the only practice I got, and it was fun. I liked it. I wasn't very good, but I feel like I could be capable with practice. It's just a precision effort. I won't be out there doing trick shots, though. I can't calculate that. I'm not here to calculate that. Chalking the cue makes you look like you know what you're doing, and that's the most important. I think it has something to do with like how it accurately hits the ball. Like it gives it like a buffered surface versus a smooth surface that it might like wang off of. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was my job at Christmas time, though, was to. That sounds really wrong. Chalk all of the cues. Stand around the pool table. Here. Okay. Okay. Clearly a very hard worker. Alright, let's clean up. Clean up, everybody do your share. Clean up, everybody everywhere. I'm so proud of you and your butt. Oh, Nibbler, you're so cute. Nibbler is very snuggly lately. And I love that for her. You're very snuggly. You're very snuggly, Bean. Daisy, you're not jumping off the walls. I don't understand why. I don't understand. Oh, we got some purrs. We got some purrs going on hers. Will they stay? She stops purring when I pick her up. Can't show it off. Gives grip so you can control the ball. That sounds about right. Just the cork tip would slide off. Pshaw. You can't have that. Alright, Nibbler, are you modding? You modding? Another competitor for the prettiest eyes contest. Their eyes have gotten so beautiful as they've grown up and aged. Like, they were kind of green after they were blue. Let me see if I can show. Nibblers are kind of yellow with a little bit of green, like a sagey green, like Daisy's eye color around the iris. It's amazing. They have sunburst eyes. And then Stripes, who's forking with my bag over here. Stripes has the most beautiful eyes. She has like blue more prominently around like the orange. It's like her and Zeke had babies. I don't know how well it's translated in the camera, but they're so beautiful. And Daisy, you're not a plain Jane, but you have sagey eyes, just one color eyes. I've never seen the two color like that before though. It's wild. How did that happen? How did that happen? You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. It is though. Oh, don't take that down. Don't take that down. You're a naughty baby. You're a naughty baby. What are you doing? You make everyone watch you be naughty if you're gonna be naughty. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. The whole world will see your deeds unfold. Grandma, you pooped on the floor. You blew up an embassy. And then you came back here and sat on the couch to watch your dirty deeds unfold. I feel like it's been too long since I pulled that clip up on stream or skit. Really clip. I'm so proud of you for pooping good, but why'd you poop in the corner like that? That's hard to clean, friend. He's a good girl. We got him on my backseat. Now you're getting your energies, Daisy. Oh, better. What? You gonna put my kibblies in law? My kibblies in law? Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Now she's perfectly behaved. There's some kind of self-awareness that is like indoctrinated to every cat that enters my house, to where they become self-aware that they're on camera and therefore stop being naughty. The only solution to have a sane life is just to stream 24/7. It's the only solution. Don't know what else to do. Get your stuff over here. Get your crunchies. The crunchy kibblies. The crunchy kibblies. Oh, there's the Daisy getting silly. Good girl. You just have to rev up your motor a little bit there. Is that how we had to get through that one? Some more wah. You gotta eat more of your wet food, your smush mush. You gotta eat the smush mush. Smush mush mush mush. Smush mush 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 mush. Smush mush 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 mush. Then they would be perfect angels always. It does sound like a life hack. I think that is the only solution. I think so. You being so brave? I need to get the big thick blanket out of the dryer before tonight is over because it's gonna get super cold tomorrow. We don't want none of that air coming in here. The windows be drafty. Hello, teeny tots. I'm just chilling, Stripes. I feel like this is the parting gift that Stripes is giving me, is a little bit of being able to give affection and attention. There's something the outside. I thought so too for a second. It looked like a cat, but it was just Daisy's reflection. That freaks me out sometimes when I just glance over and I see them bouncing around any room where there's cats and windows. So my entire house. I see their reflection. And it scares the heck out of me. I'm like, it's another tank. There's another cat. It's too cold for the critters to be running around outside tonight, though. It is cold. It's 20s right now. Then tomorrow it's going to be like 0, or maybe the next day. I don't know. Not looking forward to it. I'm probably going to have to pull out the AstroTurf for the dogs. Which is going to be fun to figure out with Ringo. I'm just going to cover the kitchen floor in straw and make it like a horse stall. I don't know how else to do that. What are you doing? Oh, you found the drawstring. You found the drawstring. We are at capacity. We are at capacity. We're about to be at my mental capacity when all 4 of them get spayed at one time. It's going to be a lot. They're going to get spayed on, I know I said this before, but the 16th, which I think is a Tuesday. So I'll probably miss you guys. I'll definitely miss you guys the Monday before, because I'm insane and I have to give everyone time before they go under for anything, because I'm cuckoo bananas. And the day they get spayed, Tuesday, I probably won't be on stream either. And then Wednesday is Serena Day. Maybe I'll do a kitten stream if they're holding themselves together well. And hopefully we'll be back on by Purrsday next week. They have to wear cones for that. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking so. Every neuter that I've done, they don't wear a cone because it's like not a lot of stitches, but this is like, instead of just a couple of stitches back there for a boy, this is a lot of stitches over here for the girls. So I would assume they'll either need a cone or a recovery suit, so like a onesie. I'm thinking about getting them recovery suits, because if we put it on them when they're still coming out of like the anesthesia and still waking up and kind of drunk puppies, it shouldn't be a problem for them to wear it. I'm thinking that would be best, but we'll see. I don't know if they make them tiny enough for her. I'll have to look for them in person at the store. You are so hot. Otherwise, my vet will have to. Well, Slavka had. No, they're gonna have to be in suits, because Slavka had the tiniest cone, and it was on the smallest size, and it still barely stayed on her. So I'm gonna have to do suits, I think, unless they make specifically kitten cones, and Slavka just wasn't small enough for that one. But I mean, her cone is small, like it fits around probably this part of my arm. And we would need smaller ones for them. That's a good question. They'll need something to stop them from chewing on the stitches. Probably end up doing recovery sweaters. They just look like little onesies. I'll pull up a picture. Recovery suit cat. I'm lazy. They're just little kitty onesies. Just little kitty onesies. That's what we gotta get take next. Make them the annoying orange instead of the pear avocado. I think that one's the move. There we go. Now we're playing. They do like the kickins backwards and do them on each other's heads. Oh my god. Ugly holiday sweater competition, zoo edition. I wonder if they will have holiday themed ones. Although I won't be able to check Stripes and Nibbler's belly, so I'll have to get 2 different colors for them. I mean, I can, if I look at their faces for more than 2 minutes, I can tell who's who, but just in passing, I can't. New edition! I have a wonderful, ugly holiday Christmas sweater that I should break out this year again. It's a turtleneck, which those are flattering on everyone, you know? They're not flattering on me. They're not flattering on many people. Turtlenecks are like the shirt version of capris. You can only really pull them off if you are a supermodel. And you're only pulling them off because you're a supermodel. But it's a turtleneck with a penguin on it. And he says, just chill out. It's very cute. I found it at Goodwill and I love it. It's actually very comfortable, but it's very ugly. Well, she doesn't want to be attack tagged through there. She don't want no smoke. They're loving the new chair covers. You have an ugly sweater that lights up? What lights up on it? Like a creature? Like a snowman or like a reindeer or Santa or like letters or lights? I need to know. This sounds cool. I'm here for it. I don't know if they're here for it, but I'm here for it. That sounds amazing. How do you wash it if it lights up? Does like something disconnect from it? And then you can wash it? I mean, no judgment if you don't. I have a couple of costumes that I have only spot cleaned and not ever actually washed. Granted, not worn many times, but only hand cleaned, spot cleaned versus washed because it'll get ruined if it goes through the laundry. Like my Poison Ivy outfit that I made. That one's never gotten washed. It's gotten cleaned, but never washed. It will die in the washing machine. It will fall apart. It will die. You have to take the lights out. It's a huge pain. Oh, it's kind of like a Christmas tree pattern, though. It sounds phenomenal. 'Tis the season to bring this into everyone's lives. I'm jealous. I want one now. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's so much cooler than my Christmas sweater. I'm jealous. Oh my god. Was that something you had to buy special or was just at the store screaming, Cyogenics, buy me and endure my irritating washability? You hung ornaments on it again for the added Uko effect. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. A round of applause. A round of applause. All I can think of is I have a couple pairs of earrings that were my mom's that are ornaments. Like, my mom would do all kinds of like DIY stuff. And she made the little ornaments into a pair of earrings. I have a red pair and a green pair. And I would just want to take the earrings and hang them on your shirt. Or on the sweater. It's a thrift shop purpose, but you wired it yourself. It was a choice that makes it even better. I love it. I haven't even seen it. I love it. It's chef's kiss. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Babies are in charge for a moment. I gotta yoink up meds. But I'm so jealous. I will be dreaming of this sweater. I need it in my life. I want my own version. Don't let your speaker under the chair, please. Oh my goodness. You're silly. You're just having a blast with that over there, aren't you? Oh, maybe Stripes will let me give her some belly rubs. Some belly rubs. Oh no, that's Nibbler. Will Nibbler give me belly rubs? No, belly plays. I'm so surprised that Stripes likes belly rubs. It's a very vulnerable position. That's her preferred way of pets. You sign up for a competition or a contest, try for the W. You succeed. Good. #1 checkmark trophy in my book. DIY humans of the world. Is this discoloration just another sand and stain situation? I think that's from when Snoop was sick years ago. He was very acidic and murdered the floor in here. Doing White Elephant this year, and the sweater will probably end up being my gift. Oh my goodness. White Elephant is interesting, but it nerve wracks me a little bit. I'm not socially functional enough to. My ego is not strong enough. I'm not socially functional enough to tolerate that. You are brave. You are brave. What are you doing, babies? It's sleepy, silly time. Daisy looks just as perplexed as I do about what Stripes is doing. Are you just relaxing under there? Okay. Stripes wanted to go camping. She's just relaxing in there. You'll be guilt tripped if you don't participate. No! That's not okay. That's not cool. I feel like things like that are fun memories to look back on, but annoying definitely if you don't want to participate with it in the first place. I feel like it's more convenient to do if you have a bigger, well, not more convenient, but it tends to happen more if you have a bigger family. You're stepping on your sister, Daisy. Daisy, stomp. Mama, you're stepping on your sister. Should we try to do your nails? Technically, everyone needs their nails done. Should we try for it? You guys are kind of calm right now. We can try. You're as calm as you're going to be for babies. Oh, no. Phone cord. No. You have to stay up. Let's try a little bit of nails. Then we'll go see what Mom's up to. No, it's not your bedtime yet. Daisy! I have no part of this. She is here. Come here. Burrito. Burrito. Burrito, baby. Good girl. Good girl. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. One more paw. One more paw. You're doing so good. Good girl. Not so scary anymore, maybe? Oh, Daisy, you're being so good, and I didn't even tilt the camera down to show the world. You guys are gonna think I'm lying. Here, we did them all, but we're gonna do one extra just for fake outs. Look how good of a girl she's being. I wonder how Stripes and Nibbly are gonna do. She just attempted suicide. I mean, you win some, you lose some, you know? Get that fat pussy off the screen. Never! She's just fluffy, okay? No, she is large and in charge. And you're chewing on my top. We do gotta do your sister's nails too. Why do they like chewing on metal? Like, doesn't that not feel good? No, you're on your sister. They're plotting. They're plotting. Nibbler is going for a stripes takedown. Okay, Daisy, you look like a horse chomping at a bit. Good God. It's shiny, probably the extent of the thought process. Yeah, probably. Probably. Alright, who's my next? I don't want to say victim, but come here, you're dicking around. There goes. There goes. Okay. Let's see how we feel about this. Oh, sorry. Until I dropped the clippers on you. I'm sorry. That was very rude of me. You're very lanky. We need a better positioning strategy. Hi. Oh, good girl. Good girl. That one's short. That one's good. No, almost. Almost. You just bop up like that. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. It's just nails. It's just nails. You gotta be able to do this for your new family. Yes, you do. Oh, do. Yes, it's a good girl. It's a good girl. It's a good girl. Oh, it's a perfect lady. It was good. I'm proud of Nibbler. Go Nibbler. Go Nibbler. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Just kidding. Just kidding. You turned 14 weeks on Saturday. It's crazy. It's so insane. Like, I cannot quantify it. It does not make sense to me that this has been the timeline of my life from September until now. Like, that's so much time, but that's so little time, and we've gone through so much, but so little. I'm getting in my feels about this hard. I keep thinking of a song that my godmother used to play and look at me and cry, and I keep thinking of the song, and I understand now, and I look at them and cry when I think of the song. I used to think my godmother is very emotional. I think I'm very emotional. I'm a man, a stoic man compared to her level of emotional. And I always thought she was just being like for no reason, but no, it hits in the feels. It's a country song too. Boy, kind of terrifying how those murder talents pop out. They were honestly scarier looking when they were first born. Because they looked like they had little bear claws because they just stayed out all the time instead of like retracting around. Now they have like normal feet. They were creepy feet before. No offense to the babies, but they were no creepy. Alright, Stripes. Get everyone to stop trying to kill you over here. Hi. She's just chilling on her side, trying to snooze. And everyone's jumping on her. You do your nails? You do your nails? It's okay. Little biscuits go to the market. This little biscuit says meow. This little biscuit says meow. This little biscuit says, oh my goodness. And this little biscuit says, where is my food? And, oh, hold on. We still got one more set of piggies. Do you want to do piggies? We'll do piggies. This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy, oh, he's gonna stay home. He's staying home. He's a homebody. This little piggy had roast beef. Oh, that sounds good. And this little piggy had none. Sucks to be him. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way through nail trims. And she just looks at me like, sussed out. Oh, you guys did good. That was awesome, honestly. Compared to the last time I did them, that was phenomenal. They did excellent. They're gonna have no problem. No problem. You're gonna do good. And softened by how cute and wobbly they were as babies. Cutest little babies. I wish I had more experience when they were babies. Like, they were an awesome learning experience, and I'll forever be grateful for this. But I wish I could have savored the time that they were tiny instead of being so anxious about the time that they were tiny. Because I wouldn't look at them most of the time like, oh, you're so cute, little babies, what are you doing? Like, I'd stare at them and, like, count. Okay, you're breathing normal for 5 breaths. Okay, look at the next one. You're breathing normal for 5 breaths. Look at the next one. You're breathing normal for 5 breaths. Oh, you're nursing? Did you make the latch on sound? Did you... so much. But that just might be me as a person. We'll see next time we end up fostering a litter, because inevitably it's going to happen again in my lifetime. Go, crazies, goes! Now Daisy gets her energy. Welcome, Mad Topher. Wish you'd have trained yours to accept nail clipping so easily when they were young. I think everyone wishes that. I'm very lucky. I don't think it's how I do it. I don't know what it is. But pretty much everyone is decent for nail clipping, even Tank at this point, which I'm grateful for. But Munster is surprisingly the worst of everyone, even though I've done his since he was a baby. Little Kid is definitely the best because he just loves being held. Charlie is the hardest to do. Slavka's getting easier, thankfully. Slavka, I made it a point to play with her feet, though, since she's been here, and she's way better about it. Also, welcome to Mad Topher. I hope the night's being kind to you. Almost escaped. Better luck next time. Goodbye. Oh, there's a little fly game that I used to play when I was a kid, and that sounds really lame, but it was literally a fly. So it would be running around on the board, but you wouldn't be able to see. It was just a picture, and you would press random spots, like how a checkerboard would look, kind of, and try and guess where he is. And you would get 3 tries. So you press, like, the top right corner. You'd say, na 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 na, and then you go to another one, and if he was close, he would go, ow, that was close. And then you would have one more try, and if you could get him, then you would get him, and I never got him. My dad actually never got him either, so neither of us won at that game. But the game would always end with, better luck next time, goodbye. I wonder if he still has that. That was something I really loved when I was little. I feel like we still have it in a box somewhere. Probably. Just learning the next batch you can soak in the cute. Yes. Next batch of buns. Buns in the oven. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna feel so empty and sad for a while because there are other things with the zoo that I need to focus on after these guys get adopted, and getting the French sorted and settled, and all the little inner working details of my life, to where it's going to be a few months before we can take in another foster, which is, it's going to make me sad. It's going to make me feel like I'm a do-nothing bitch, but there are other things that need to be important. And that's okay. Nah, 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 nah. Gotta get Diesel's legs sorted out. Gotta get Ringo through training. I gotta call tomorrow and see if he can still go in, if he just finished his meds for Giardia. I'm gonna figure that one out. Try and get Munster as happy and comfy, as healthy as we can. Give the boys some downtime. Get Tank out of his damn avocado. That's like more of a him thing than a me thing, though. His hair needs to grow out, and we gotta get there. He's probably gonna be in that for another month, which is just like, I can't control that. He scratches himself open. We should get him the orange, though. The avocado is kind of falling apart, like the stuffing is coming out of it. We should get him the orange. There are many of those, but that's the funniest one I've seen in a while. Kind of partial to the avocado. I am too, and it's so cute. But it's falling apart. And maybe he'd like something different. It's also awkward shaped too. So like it has to be flipped a certain way for him to lay perfectly comfortably, even though it's plush. it's small on the top and then big on the bottom. So it's fine if it's like tilted sideways, but if it's under, then he has to lay like this instead of like snugly. Wild babies. Aren't you glad you aren't a pervocado anymore? Oh God. I think he will be when he can get there. Just feel so bad, this poor guy. And it was all for nothing. But if I didn't do the biopsy that he had to get the incision for, then I would forever be paranoid that like he's dying every second because I'm insane. So I'm glad I know that everything's fine. What are you creeping around for? Babies are being wild. Wild behind the camera creatures. Aw, sleepy stripes. You're gonna get meds in an hour, love. Munster doesn't need strict meds at midnight anymore. He's only on once a day of his... What are you doing? His prednisolone now. So we'll see how that keeps going. He's shooting out a lot of snot rockets, which is good, I think. Like if all of that is starting to clear out, that's good, I think. I hope. Every time I go in with him, I have to blow his nose a little bit. What are you doing, Nibblies? What are you doing, Daisy? Daisy just boop, 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 boops through life. Daisy could be a commercial cat. Not that Nibbler and Stripes aren't beautiful, but Daisy could be in commercials. And she also gets so jealous. She heard Stripes crunching. When they hear one of them eating, they all go to eat, usually, once they're asleep. I think that's akin to like nursing times. Because when one would, they would all. Unless they're super sleek. Maybe that's why she's so big. She copycats everyone. When we were at the vet the other day, Stripes and Nibbler were, I think, 3.2 pounds, and Daisy was 4.2. She has a whole pound over them. She's a big cow. She's a big cow. Welcome, welcome, Gani. Hope you're having a wonderful night. And thank you for the follow. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the cult. It is whatever you want it to be, baby. The choose your own adventure. And thank you for taking the time to be here tonight. Chilling with the baby foster kittens. Fluffy moo cows. They have been liking having fake mom in here too. Stripes gets the most into it. She likes to love on her a little bit, and it's very cute. We're doing good. It's been an interesting day. I dropped my car off for new tires earlier. And then they're supposed to be done by 6, and they never called. But I also told them I'll pick it up in the morning, so maybe they're just like, oh, it's fine. We'll get it done in the morning. I don't know. The guy was like, we're going to call you when they're done. They're going to be done at the end of the day, and then you can decide if you want to come in and get them. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be taking a nap, but I'm not telling you that. Other than that, my day's been decent. How about you? WTF, I don't care about sex. Sir, I'm talking about the tires on my vehicle. How did you interpret the nasty from that? I am perplexed. Oh, we do have a win from today, though. I went to the dentist and have no cavities, and where my tooth had to be fixed is still holding solid, so I'm happy. Not $700. It was... Oh, what was the exact amount? I think it came out to $496 with installation and labor and the tires total. So not bad at all. My mechanic is lovely, but he's also a man. So I called him and he made me feel stupid. So I called him like, can you give me a quote for tires for the van? And he says, did you call Discount Tire first? And I'm like, no. And he's like, call them first. And then that was the end of conversation. Like, okay, thank you. Like, he knew I would have saved a chunk of money, but I didn't know I would have saved a chunk of money. I always assume that those places will just rip you off, so We'll see. We'll see how they do. It was only about like I think $496 or $494 total though, which is not bad for 4 tires. I'm grateful. How am I with streams? I mean, they're nice, but I prefer rivers and lakes. You know, that Michelin man is pretty sexy. Oh no, not for the car. The car no go. The car no go for a handful of years, and the car will not go for another handful of years, and that's okay. It's gonna have to be towed to the franch. You just gotta allocate space in the garage because everything else from storage got shoved into the barrage. I still need to make space for my baby. Yeah, no, for my van. It was pretty cheap. I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful. I do have a Discord. It is on my profile. You doing, Daisy May? She's bouncing around. We're both playing in the corner. Silly beans. Silly beans. It did come out to be pretty cheap though. I'm grateful. So I filled up my flat tire and I found the nail in it as I was filling it up. It was right there, just looking at me. Or the screw, not nail. What's you doing, Bean? Got some air in her. Got her in. And we're good. She's happy. She's happy. I just really thought I was going to have a missed call from them. And now I'm nervous about the morning. Like when they're going to have it ready. If it's not ready. Because I have to take Zeke in the morning, like as soon as possible. Costco tires are pretty cheap, but require a membership. I was going to do a Costco membership, but then I got a thing in the mail for a ridiculously discounted Sam's Club membership. Does Sam's Club have a little mechanic stop thing? Is Sam's Club any better than Costco, or are they basically the same? Like, as far as bulk items, I feel like they're probably the same, and I would probably just go with Sam's. I might do that for next year, I don't know. I feel like it's a good idea, but many things that I think are a good idea, I don't end up executing. Like, if I let myself, I would be that idiot who, good job, gets a gym membership in January and then pays for it and doesn't use it all year. Because sometimes I value convenience over saving money, i.e., DoorDashing crap or Instacarting crap versus actually going to the store myself, because it's a trade-off of time and money. Am I going to spend more money for this so that I have more time here, or am I going to spend more time with that so that I have a few more dollars? One of the two. So I want to make sure that I really, really rack it out in my head of like, so I keep trying to go to the store more and more. I'm like building it in my mind that I can always fit this in and it would be worth it to get the subscription or membership subscription. I don't know, probably the same thing. Sam's Club is pretty much the same. You haven't been to one since you were a kid. I like Sam's. Grandpa had a Sam's Club card. They've probably changed a million times, but I'm relatively familiar with it. So I already bought all the champagne for my wedding. My grandpa probably looked insane. Those two basically teenagers buying like 12 bottles of champagne. My gosh. Wild baby. Costco kind of ran them out of town on the West Coast. They got them out of there. Get them out of there. Oh, little beans. Little beans. Like, both are kind of equidistant, but if I'm going to get a really good deal on a Sam's Club membership, why wouldn't I just do that instead of Costco? I don't know. You're saying is you want a DoorDash tire swap like a NASCAR racing team? Yes. Today that would have been nice. Because I had to put air in my own tires in the cold. That would have been so nice. That would have been marvelous. I would have loved that. I would have sold parts of my soul for... No, I wouldn't have. It was just air in the tire, but still. But still. That would be nice. There are services like that you can call for, not necessarily like roadside assistance, but you can call to like, there's certain, I know there's tow companies in the area that you can call if you have a flat and they'll fill it up for you or change the donut for you. I don't have a donut. That was the problem with all of this mostly, because I could have just popped the donut on there and it would have been fine for until I can actually deal with it. But instead, it was a fucking pain in the ass because I don't have a donut. I don't know if my grandpa got a flat tire and used the donut and then got rid of it or something, but when I had a flat tire a few years ago, we pulled apart, my dad and I, because it was discovered at my dad's house. Someone was yelling at me while I was driving. And I was like 5 minutes away from my dad's, but they're yelling at me and I was ignoring it because it was freaking me out. And then finally I couldn't not hear them anymore. And they were yelling that my tire was flat. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I ran to my dad's house to see if it had air and see what was going on with it, etc. And I also ran over a nail that time. But where did that all stem from? Where was I going with that? I don't remember at all. I took myself in too many circles. DoorDash, tire swap, NASCAR. Oh, we were taking apart the where the donut should be, and there was no donut. Surprise. Surprise, no donut. None. You just stare, and it's so creepy, and I love that for you. I'm being watched. So I don't have a donut. I actually probably should ask about buying a donut when I pick it up. I think that's probably something you can do. Maybe they would have to special order it. Used up your donut. No comment. No comment. No comment. Just cute kittens. I don't have a donut. I should have one though. But I don't. I really wish I could ask my grandpa about that one. I did get lost in the sauce. But the power of the floofy babies brought me back. They brought me back. You and your little safety blankets everywhere. Your little butts. Little butts. Daisy, what are you doing, darling? You don't know. Should we go say hi to your mother if you guys are chilling for a little bit? Your old SUV carried a full-size spare, which you really liked. Nice! My truck had that too. It was a full-size tire that was adhered to the bottom of it. I never had to use it, but I was grateful it was there. It actually fell off while I was driving once and I had to chase it down. That was awkward. You look out your rearview mirror, you just see a tire bouncing. And it looks like yours. Thankfully, it was like not it was more like a warehousey street that I was on, so it wasn't very populated, but yeah. So my truck suspension was horrible, and it used to be a plow truck before I had it. So that bitch bounced. You had to drive it sideways. Every bump that you hit was the end of the fucking world. I loved that truck. It was not even kidding. It was the most amazing thing ever. And I went over a particular bump that I usually try to dodge, and I just so happened to look out my rear view, and there's my spare tire just bouncing down the back of the road and rolling off the side to a little grassy area. So I gotta turn around and go fetch it, and that was challenging. I don't like lifting tires. So if you guys ever think I'm a baby about lifting tires, that's one of the reasons. I don't ever want to do that again. It was very embarrassing. People drove by and saw that. I'm really glad it didn't hit anyone. That probably would have broken something. I kind of forgot about that. Thanks for the trip down memory lane. You Eepy? Go say hi to your mama. Boop. You go say hi to your mama. A tire is at least 3 Gunthers, I bet. So I think by law of cat size calculations, if a tire is 3 Gunthers, then it would be approximately 7.5 daisies. Wait, we can actually do the math on this. So Gunther weighs Like 12, we'll give him like 13 pounds right now, but we'll round down to 12 because that's just easier to do math with. So 12 times 3 is 36, I think, because I can do my 12s, I think, up that far. And what would 36 divided by 4 be to come up with how many daisies would make a tire? I think 36 is divisible by 4. 7.33 nibblers repeating. No, they're 3 pounds. Which one is more easily divisible? I don't do mathematics. Where's the calculator app? Did I delete it off of here? Did I just assume that I don't need mathematical skills on the phone that I use to stream with? Like, Serena, can you even delete the calculator? No, I just took it off the screen. Whoa, you can do different calculators on calculator now? I didn't know that. That's cool. What did I say? 36, not 34. Yeah, because it's divisible by 12, it's divisible by 4. 9. 9 daisies. No! I just got logged out. It'll take me a second to get back to you all. That was rude. Why would it do that midstream, you fucknut? Backpack, backpack. Backpack, backpack. I'm packed, that's loaded up with Daisy, Daisy Boo. If anything was said, I don't have... It refreshes when I close out of it. I apologize. It's too late to apologize. You don't compound your daisies. This is an advanced catometry. I don't even know what this is. We do what we want. We do what we want, right, Daisy? Oh my goodness. I mean, those are all approximate numbers, of course. You know, we're calling Gunther 12 pounds and he's 13. And Daisy is, I think, 4.2 pounds, not 4, but it's all close enough. How many nibblers and stripes would it be? It's 36 divided by 3. That one's divisible by 3 because 3 and 6 add up to 9, which is divisible by 3. 12. 12 daisies, or 12 nibblers and stripes. So 6 stripes and strips. 6 stripes and 6 nibblers. That's hard to say. I didn't expect that. She loves playing on there. At least they like their new scale. It makes me happy. Oi, let's go say hi to Mama for a few. Mama! Ooh! I get so annoyed with me saying that. She does not like it. Oh, what was I humming earlier? You guys liked it. I love you. Be right back in for meds in a few, and then you can hate my guts. Because med time is not fun time. It is not fun time. Oh, I need to look at my book. I think today might be Stripes' day 10. Or antibiotics. I think. Tongue twisters and math and kittens. This stream has it all. I'm gonna put that in my first live airing commercial. Come on, this stream has it all. I had a purpose and intent. What was I coming in here for? Except to see you, Mom. You're beautiful. Yes, I love you. Oh, I was gonna hand sanitizer. I was going in a direction, but I was also going in a direction. It's a sweet girl. It's a sweet girl. She's getting so brave. She's getting so playful. I'm so proud of her. Boyd. Little baby mama. Little baby mama. You get to never have to be a baby mama again. You just get to be the baby now. She is such an idiot when she plays. I love watching her on camera playing. She's played a little bit in front of me, but she doesn't feel safe enough to be that vulnerable yet. She'll do a couple bats around, but that's really it. She'll like look at the toy and be interested, but then move on from it. But she also wants love when I'm in with her too, so it makes sense. But her on camera with the toys is so stupid. She still jumps on them like an idiot. She's so stupid with it, and I love it, and it's the best thing that I've ever seen. So when the babies are adopted, we'll have to put up void cam and just watch her jump around like an idiot doing the Thriller while she's trying to play. She is playing with this thing a little bit, but she gets freaked out when I turn it on. It's too much for street cat perspective. It's too much. It's too much. We were doing a little bit of this earlier. And that's really good and cool. We're very proud of that. Yes. And then we can do some lap if we want to. She hasn't sat on my lap yet, but she'll crawl on it. Go Void. Go Void. She's having so many big wins. I'm so proud of her. She's such a brave girl. You are such a brave girl. She's got to build up her confidence in here, then let her heal from her spay, and then get a screen door up on the door in here so she can start to make friends with the other kitties, and then slowly integrate the puppies from there. Do Pippi and Chauncey first because they're calm and quiet, and then we'll try Diesel because he listens the most, and then Ringo because he's a giant horse. He looks like you, but he's a dog. Yes, he looks like you, but he's a dog. Ringo is such an idiot out in the snow. He loves booping his nose in it and carrying around ice chunks, but he always ends up with a splotch of snow on his face, and it looks so stupid. I love it. I haven't been able to get a good picture of it, but it's so funny. He looks just so derpy. Step 1, lap cat. Step 2, stream cat. Step 3, paw fit. We got this. We got this. It is the method to the madness. You sweet girl. You sweet girl. She's so weird. She's interested in people food because I have most of my meals in here with her. Oh God, I did something horrible last night. I need to schedule my physical therapy for my back. I was laying down and I fell asleep while I was eating dinner because I do that sometimes because I'm an old person. I don't know what happened, but it was scary. It made me feel old. It was not good. I had my food next to me and I like just laid down for a second like this. But that doesn't give perspective. I don't know if it's the weight because my knees were bent. I laid down like this and I fell asleep like this. And I woke up about 45 minutes later and I could not get up forward. It hurt my back way too much. I literally had to take deep breaths and like like an old person roll myself to the side and like work my way up. It was excruciating. I don't know what happened, but I need to schedule that shit ASAP. Sorry, still fighting off cold, flu, whatever thing. That was brutal. But my main point was I have most of my meals with her and she's interested in people food. And I tried making some things last night that she would want to eat or like try maybe. Like just salty, simple, savory. And she didn't want to try any of them. She wanted to sniff it and like be aware of it, but you didn't want to eat it. You said it's not for me. Are we doing hold? That's very brave. Do bed? That's very marvelous and wonderful. Hi. Don't, no free butts. No free butts. You are making amazing progress, Mama. She says, you chose that for me. I didn't choose that. I didn't choose that. It has just been a heck of a week. I've been getting old this week. I fell over like an idiot. I wish my camera would capture that part, but I don't have it set to go that far because it's mostly for like just the doorway to see like street cats, etc. Whatever's going on out there. I wish I had it on camera though because I think it would be hilarious. I was taking out my trash cans and I slipped on a chunk of ice at the end of the walkway before the street, and I made my garbage can fall down on me. So I have this brutal bruise on my knee right now, and I fell on my back too. And I wonder if, like, I literally, like, went backwards, fell on my butt. The garbage can fell on me, caused that. It was embarrassing. I'm sure someone had a good laugh about that in the moment. But I wonder if I borked up my back with that. It's just been a week of getting old. Oh my goodness, Floyd, what happened? What happened? We had a birthday and the whole world is crashing down. I wondered about the bruise. Thought maybe from an animal climbing or jumping on you. Oh, I didn't think it was that visible. I am full of bruises right now. It's ridiculous. I feel like when I get one big bruise, I end up with like so many big bruises. I have a bruise over here from sleeping on the floor with the babies, and somewhere up on my ribs, I think. And then the stupid one from the stupid garbage can that wanted to give me a hug. That was so embarrassing. I'm sure I made someone laugh, but like, oh my god. Let's not. No, I wouldn't put it past Diesel or Ringo to like bonk their head into me and cause the same bruise though. Thankfully it's just more bruised than hurt. It could have gone owie. But no, nothing exciting in my life. Just a trash can fell on me. That's what happens when you're this big and the world is this big. Oh no. We're just falling apart. We're falling apart. I just felt like right on my tailbone though. That sucked. I wish I had a fat ass when I fall over like that. I so wish I had a fat ass. And I do not. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Cruising for a bruise and Sabina. Garbage can, probably. Yep. 100%. 100%. Undeniably. It was so embarrassing. But I really wish I had that as a clip. I don't think I would show you guys. But I want to know how embarrassing it was. Because I know I laid there for a second and, like, took in what just happened. But then I realized, like, oh, you better get up. Like, someone's going to think you're dead. So I got up. And then I got my bearings again. And then I finished and went inside. Just like, why? Why must you do this to me, garbage can? That's so rude. So rude. Cruising for a bruising indeed. I knew I should have put salt down first, though, and I was just lazy and I didn't. I thought about it, and then I decided not to do it, and that's what happens when you think you're better than physics. Never more better than physics. Physics always wins. Always wins. Why did that just buzz? Did you unplug my watch? There we go. That was weird. I heard it, but it also vibrated the floor. That was confusing. Very confusing. Cyogenic says, I am better than physics. You know, if there was anyone to be, I would put my money on you. The rest of us, we're all doomed. Doomed and damned. Oh, baby Void. You're so happy. You're so happy. I love that you just get to be a real cat now. I can't wait to see where we go with this. Do you want Mousy? Mousy. Mousy. She kind of gets it. She kind of doesn't. Here, let's try it. Let's try the string. She gets a little shy, I think. Like it's vulnerable to be in a play pose. Let's try. Let's try. The branch is going to be rich then. Like Saudi sovereign wealth fund level. You know, it fucking better be because we have a lot of animals to rescue. Maybe we're in the mood for this. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Good girl. Derp, derp. Derp, derp. Derp, 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 derp. She just lets it bump her in the head. Like, zero survival instincts. Zero. My mouse no squeak. Aw, should we get you a squeaky mouse? Would you like that? I think she would like one of the wind-up ones that'll walk around on the floor or like wheel around on the floor. I have one somewhere. I think it's in the boys' room. They don't really care about it, surprisingly. Maybe Zeke would like it though. Gunther and Voya never got into it. Poor Zeke is to go into doc tomorrow. I called the office today and I'm like, well, I basically relayed everything that I said was going on with him last night. They're like, bring him in tomorrow. We'll check everything. Like, okay. Better safe than sorry. Hoping it's a pointless visit. I feel bad though. I have to drop him off in the morning and then he just has to stay there so he can give a urine sample. And then I can pick him up as soon as he pees. Do you guys know that Munster refuses to do that? You can't drop off Munster for a urine sample. He will refuse to pee at the vet. I was nervous with him about that when he was at U of I. But I got the report that he did go potty. But he won't do that at my vet's office. He was very well behaved at U of I. I think he thought he was being abandoned. I don't know. He will not pee at my vet's office, though. He will hold it. It's ridiculous. When outside mouse squeak, inside mouse no squeak. Why do? Why this? Why this? We just want rattlies. We don't have any rattlesnakes in Illinois. It's got ants. You have ants in your pants. I hope you never had ants in your pants. That's probably uncomfy. I had ants in my socks, but not ants in my pants. Ants in socks is enough to turn me off from the rest of the idea. Maybe that's out of respect for the vet. I don't know. I think it's just a stubborn thing. I don't think it's Munster. I don't think it's respectful. I think it's more stubborn. He was very well behaved and normal, as I was told, apparently, at U of I. But he's always been a naughty boy at my vet. Always. Always. Like the time before last that he came out of anesthesia, I think it would have been a dental before the last dental, I think. Sometimes anesthesia makes cats very aggressive when they're coming out of it, like extra aggressive. And I had to get Munster out of his cage because he was being so aggressive. It's not that they couldn't do it, but it was in Munster's best interest to have Mom do it. You want your mousey? Munster is my hellion. He is a German Shepherd, Pit Bull, Rottweiler, Cane Corso in a cat's body. And he has the appetite to prove it. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the cult. It is whatever you want it to be, baby. It's a choose your own adventure, and thank you for taking the time to be here with these two mamas tonight. Munster has to respect someone somewhere out there. Yeah, he respects himself. That's it. He respects himself. And apparently the students at U of I, he probably looked at all of them and said, you know what? I could do so much to you, and I'm gonna give you this win. You seasoned youngsters, I'll let you have this one time. He probably took pity on them. It's not that he wanted to be nice, he took pity. Although apparently they did let him run around in like the classroom area, whatever. Which he probably thought he was getting special privileges. That probably helped. Munster likes actual special privileges and perceived special privileges. So if I'm moving furniture and I allow him to jump on top of it, that's a perceived special privilege. But he thinks he's winning at life. It is his own primary presumption. Did you want mousies? Mousy, mousy, mousy. Like she gets like 90% of the way there and then she just derps out. She doesn't know what she's doing. What's that? She hasn't played with this yet, surprisingly. Even though the babies have a similar one. Mousy. Mousy. Yeah, Munster only respects himself. He doesn't even respect me. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. He can live his best life and do whatever he wants. He has pretty privilege. Kind of like you, Void. You have pretty privilege. Yes, you do. You have pretty privilege. I love you, sweet girl. Love you. It's always the tiniest animals that I think their inner voice is like a deep man's voice. I would imagine Munster would sound like Morgan Freeman. But like a very aggressive, serious Morgan Freeman. Like Morgan Freeman if he was your dad and you just got in trouble. You don't need to eat my hair. Floofy floof. No, we don't need to eat my hair. Why is this shedding? It was my hair and mousy hair. There we go. That's better. All better. All better. We still need to trim your murder mittens soon, but we might wait until you get spayed and let them get done then. I don't know. I haven't wanted to break our beautiful little bit of trust and do her nails yet. We gotta do them soon, Mama. Would you do them like while you're laying down? Probably, maybe. I would guess no because it's playtime, but we can try. She's let me touch her paws. Hi. Oh, good girl. That one's short. It's okay. Hi. I know, what's this silly lady doing? I'm not gonna be able to get your thumbs, but it's a good girl. Hi. 0 survival instincts. Ah, we got one paw. That's pretty good. Hi. Hello. Can I see? You doing play? Okay, play break. Play break. I don't feel like this is true for most cats. Because some certainly are wily about their nails. But I feel like it's all about mostly just getting on their level calmly for whatever way they want to do it. Like most of the zoo, I can just pull into my lap, baby style, and do their nails that way. But Gunther has to be laying down for his. He has to do it special. Charlie has to be laying down for hers. Void apparently prefers this method. I don't know. Look at the other paw another day. Tank, you have to like hold him very awkwardly for. When you do the inner voice for your mom's pet rabbit, you make her voice very deep and vaguely racist. Oh, God. I can't think of the actress that I'm thinking of, but I feel like that would be the perfect reference. Although her voice isn't very deep. It's probably like medium for a woman. She played the grandma in Sneaky Pete. She was in parts of American Horror Story. And they referenced her by her actress's name. She was in some episodes of BoJack Horseman. I cannot think of her name for the life of me. I would imagine that's what the voice would sound like, though. No nonsense Southern gal. Are you enjoying playing hide and seek with Mousy? Hi. Oh, can we do the other paw if we're up there? Can we try? And we try. Oh, you don't like singing. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's ease. Oh, they're actually not that long. Oh, that's because I'm looking at the wrong foot. Wait, no, I'm not. Why are these so short? Oh, you have a very long thumb, though. Can we trim that? Okay, say no, Mom. That's okay. I'm playing right now. It's just a blob. Just a blob. Sneaky Pete was good. I did like that one. Oh, I liked it very much. That show taught me that you call a con man because he is a confidence man, because his con gives you confidence. I had never put two and two together for that before. The lady from The Expanse, she had a really deep voice too. There are many ladies in The Expanse. I don't even remember what their government system was. The lady in charge. Are you enjoying that? One of the higher ups. But like in big government, not like the military factions. I think we're thinking of the same person. I can picture her. I just cannot see her character name, and I don't even know her actress name. What are you doing? Okay, I don't know. That was a weird pose. You gotta get Void a punching bag. I think she would like that. I think she would like that. I think so. I think so. I think so. Meow, 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 meow. Excuse me. Meow, 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 meow. Redlined. Character name was Christian Avasarala. I'm not going to be able to say her last name right. That sounds about right. I don't know what her normal human name would be. I don't know actors and actresses. I know nothing. You love when you hold the toy up for her. She has her little vampire teeth poking out. You're a little vampire. You're a little vampire. You know, if your name wasn't already void from so much time and effort, I would love to call you Ozzy Osbourne, little princess of darkness. She has kind of like that derpy Ozzy vibe to her. Sharon, Mama, Mousy. Oh, snap, I thought I was butchering the last name. It kind of sounded right, but it also has been so long that it felt wrong. And I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my god, wake up, woman. Alright, we need some coffee, Mama. We need some coffee. I'm gonna run into the boys' room for a minute and chug down some caffeine and then do the medicines for the BBs and then bop into some games. I want to set the computer up, but I do not have the brain cells to figure out what the best way to do that at this point would be. I don't know if I would want to just install rudimentary things and stream off the laptop, but then I want to move things on my desk. So maybe just mobile stream it on Twitch. I don't know. But as soon as the computer is set up, I want to decorate for Christmas. There's a new Expanse game that they're working on. Ooh! I have one of the games for it. That's my leg. You enjoying that? Chewing on my socks. This apparently makes her happy. That's exciting. Doesn't have a release date yet, so you have time. Oh, boo. Well, I mean, like, yay for time, but how many seasons of The Expanse were there? It's a book series, too, I think. But I think when I stopped watching, I was on season 2, because season 3 costed extra. It wasn't included with Prime. But I think it went all the way up to season 4 at that point. I liked it, though. It was very good. All the way to 6. Sheesh. I wonder how many books are in the series. Or how closely they followed it. Wee. Okay, mom needs coffee. Oh my god. I need awake brains. I know you want to please, but I want awake brains. We're gonna put this up here, and you can enjoy it at your own leisure. Your own leisure. Expanse series is Amazon only. Is it now? Whenever I was watching it, which is about, I think I was about halfway through the first season when the second season came out. But I watched it slowly. But I remember season 3 wasn't included with Prime. You needed like an extra subscription for it or something. It went to season 3 or 4, and then Amazon bought the license. And so it's all on Prime now? If Amazon bought the license, it's all Prime? All Prime? All what? I might have to pause House and go back to The Expanse, which I'll also have to probably restart it, but I like the first season of Expanse. Reminds me of Firefly. There's a lot of crossovers that are very similar moments, and I like that. Like, after the first season, it doesn't get very Firefly, but that is beautiful news! Round of applause. Ding, ding, ding. Awesome human alert. Hell yeah. That's beautiful. That makes me so happy. Void, I know what we're watching with dinner tonight. We're starting over The Expanse. Actually, I'm going to put Void in charge for a minute. There's kind of no sense in hauling everything sideways. Actually, Void will have a few sips of coffee with you. There we go. Modify the life experiment here. Need drink, please. What are you doing? What are you doing, Zeke? Okay. Your little silly babies. Zeke is on top of the piano. Thankfully not covered in cheese. But he is doing the schnufflies and a little bit of sneeze. Miss Void, what are you doing then? That's the vacuum. You probably didn't want to knock that over. Firefly was so well done. The way it was made and the time it was made, how it was made, that magic will never be captured again. And the follow-up movie for it was also well done. There are very few series where that actually exists. And I'm so grateful they did it justice. There's a talk about a Firefly reboot, but I'm really hoping it's just talk. Yeah, because it won't be the same. I didn't hear anything about that, but I haven't heavily researched it by any means. But it will not be the same. They won't. The cast was perfect, where the way everything was set up was perfect. The storyline, it was just this, once again, a perfect storm of just amazingness. They could not recapture that magic. The safe thing would be to do a spin-off in the same universe, but Hollywood isn't smart. Ugh. I always think they can do it better. No. A spin-off would be good, though. We should all write strongly worded letters to whoever is considering remaking it. I think that's the way to go. Strongly worded letters. We'll tell them what to do. But no, they won't be able to recapture the same magic of it. It was perfect. The cast went together too well, the storyline went together too well, the magic of it all went together too well. It was a perfect storm of beautiful. $60% of the special effects budget was sent into the Firefly model. No shit. That's crazy. Did a beautiful job with it though. It was a very budget series. Well, I think they wanted to see if it would get bigger and go somewhere, obviously, before. If you're gonna knock that over and it's gonna spook you. Before putting all this, yeah, I had a feeling that was over full and it was gonna spill, but okay, that's a problem for later. They probably wanted to see if it would go a lot more places, and unfortunately, it only gained a cult following later on versus when it was airing, which is very sad. Sad. I find it very surprising that my dad didn't really like Firefly. I don't remember us watching it when I was younger. Silly girl. But I remember asking him about it after I had just watched it for the first time, and he didn't think it was that good. He thought it was cheesy. You spoiled brat. Fox torpedoed them by messing with the episode launch early. What? I didn't know that. Is that rectified when you go to stream it somewhere? Or did they just make the not pilot the pilot for the sake of going along with it? I wonder. I think that's what it is my dad's not a Western guy. He's not a Cowboys guy. I think that's out of spite, though. I feel like he secretly likes them, but my grandpa liked old Westerns, and I think he pretended he didn't like them to be a rebel. I think he's secretly okay with them, but he'll never admit that. They aired them out of order. That's insane. But in streaming, it's in the correct order. So we've all had different experiences with Firefly. That's crazy. If you watched it launching on TV, you have a way different perspective of how it started versus streaming. Oh my god! Oh my god! That's terrible. Shame on you, Fox. That's ridiculous. A rebel without a cause. Yeah. A little bit. A little bit. He's the middle child. That's what he does. You have a floof on your head. You have a floof. Jeez, girly. Jeez. Jeez. We did go see the movie Space Cowboys in theaters, though, and that was fun, but that was not really cowboyish. It was just the concept of them being wily older gentlemen. And Fox is known for making sound decisions, like canceling Futurama repeatedly. It was still so surprising to learn that it had been canceled multiple times without really being able to deduce that from the episodes. But I guess I take for granted when I see that there's another season. I would never have considered it. I think it ended 4 times, didn't it? It ended 3 times before it actually ended. I still haven't watched any of the new episodes. The ending of it was just too perfect for me. It's a beautiful closure. I don't know if I'm ready for more yet. Just opening myself up to more heartache. Baby Void. Baby Void. It's time to give your kids some meds. Yes. Your galley pals. Need some episodes. You watched some of the newer episodes and can confirm how it ended is perfect. It's such a beautiful ending. I don't think the new episodes are probably bad by any means. It's just different and extending something that already had a succinct stop. Kind of. I mean, without giving spoilers, I guess the ending did open up for more episodes, but it also closed all of the episodes perfectly. Like, I guess they were smart with that one, but I'm gonna be dumb and ignorant and wait to watch it. Oh my goodness. No, you never know how sensitive some people are about spoilers. Never know. Never know. Yep, I had someone get vehemently mad at me. This is like minor, tiny trauma. Like vehemently angry at me for spoiling the ending of Futurama because I assumed it's an older show. For spoiling it on MFC. So I'm not gonna go spoiling shows anymore if I can help it because I don't want people mad at me for saying things. I don't have time to deal with that. I mean, I do feel a little bit bad, but like more than anything, I don't have time to deal with that shit. I just don't. I just don't. Don't have time for that nonsense. It's a very good point. If it's a year or more later, it's on them for not watching it. I don't know. I don't mind spoilers, but I get that like people get very emotionally attached to shows and don't want the end of things. Open door. There we go. And it's like, dang, you don't just scream at me about it. Whatever internet screaming is. You don't have to capital letters at me at it. Goodness golly. Oh, see, that's just toxic and rude. You can't live to spoil stuff, but inevitably it's going to happen over time. But you can't be that guy that ruins everything. I mean, you can, but your friends probably won't be your friends. Hello, babies. It is the time and the season and the reason of medicine. Oh, I forgot to look at my book and see what day we're on for stripes. Oh, my God. We're in there for so long. Tomorrow is day 10, and then I think Monday is day 10 for stripes and or Daisy and Nibble. You became immune to it. Doesn't bother you anymore. Isn't that cool though? I mean, like, we like to enjoy things in life. To experience and enjoy things. Are you ready? I mean, sometimes that's a sign of a good friend though. I have a handful of friends that I haven't talked to in over a year. But I know I can call them at any time and they'll pick up the phone. Oh, I got your new meds out over here. We finished the bottle. Knew we were gonna finish that bottle. I knew it. People get busy too as they get older. Kids, family. Makes it hard to stay connected consistently. I really hope I didn't just break this. I might have. Oh no, it's fine. Squishy, 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 squishy. You ready, monkeys? Daisy's like, if I pretend to be asleep, I don't have to take my meds. And Nibbler's like, I'm a good girl, I'll do it. And Stripes is like, do I really have to? Mom. Last time you spoke to him in person was at his wedding. Aw. He's busy with a brand new life then. Still, you gotta make some time for your friends, though. Play a game here or there. Come on. Hi, Nibbly. Ready, baby girl? Oh, good job. I know. It's so yucky. It's so yucky. Okay. Introduced yourself to his wife with an Irish accent. So this day, she thinks you're that Irish guy from her wedding. Why? Why did you do that? Just because? I'm guessing that was your first time meeting her. Like, was there a reason behind that? Was it a bet? Was it a prank? You ready, baby? Okay, good girl. I know, so yucky. I'm sorry. So yucky. So yucky. I'm sorry. Again, Daisy, if you pretend to be asleep, that means you don't have to have it, right? No. Sorry. Sorry. Hey, Mommy. I don't want to give this to you upside down. Uppy. Uppy and open. You gotta open. Thank you. Good girl. Good girl. Now you're gonna hate me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You do that when you're meeting someone, and the next time you speak normal and make no reference to it whatsoever. Is that a toxic trait? No, but it's confusing. It's amusing, but it's confusing. But that's okay. It brings you joy, and it doesn't hurt anybody. So I wouldn't say it's toxic. Nibbler has a foot fetish. Are we over it now? Hi, Paw. Hi, Paw. Hi, Paw. And Daisy hates me. I love you, Stripes. Oh, Stripes purrs. Stripes purrs. Foot. Foot time. Paw time. And you have little coffees. I just had a little coffee. Yes. There you go. See, it's just medicine. You survived. You guys, I broke and I brought the soft pad in here. It's sanitized and covered in 1,000 blankets, and I'm old. I can't sleep on the floor. I can, but it bruises my body. It's not okay. Oh, my happy girls. My happy girls. We smudge on you. And then we'll go back in with the boy baboos. You little foot gremlin. Oh my goodness. Little toe gremlin. Little toe gremlin. My golly. She's one of those cats. She is. She likes the beans. She's got the beans. Aw, big stretch stripies. She's gonna try and climb on the back of the tripod. Oh, mama. Whoa, mama. What are you doing over there? Daisy, what are you doing there? That's personal space. Stripes Patrol. Stripes Patrol. Litter box is cleaned. Check. You want to do these next? Just kidding. Proud of you. Proud of you. Kitten Cam takeover indeed. Little wild beans. You get sleepy after their meds. I'm not being very sleepy right now, though. Little tech crew. Da 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 da. Oh, you have to reappear on the other side. There we go. Now it's a real trick. Nibbler gets so happy. You going on my sweater? Where are you going? Where are you going? Straight, you get some drinkies. Daisy, we gotta give your butt a haircut. It's a situation. You gotta give her a butt cut. I'll probably attempt that at some point tomorrow. While we're emotionally coping with Zeke being dropped off at docks for the day. I hate doing that. I know, like, you have to do that for urinary stuff, but I feel like it stresses them out even more. A butt cut. Just trim. Well, I mean, saying that I feel like is nicer than what we used to call it at the grooming shop. Call it a poop shoot. You shave out around their butt so that poop doesn't get in their hair because you remove that hair from the area. I feel like a butt cut sounds much nicer than a poop shoot. Oh, big jumpy girl. You're so silly. You're so silly. Look at you, big tall girl. I'm doing this in like the laziest way possible. Big tall girl. Don't think you'd order either at your barber's. Oh my goodness. I don't think I would either. But sometimes you gotta do it. For the buddies. Not, I would like to think not for us. I don't know. I don't want to know the level of hairy that butts get in the world. I know what I've seen, and that's enough for me. I don't need to know the stats on this for peoplies. Where are you going? Whoop. You're a wild child. Oh, Daisy, I didn't realize you were right there. I'm sorry. Hello, I'm just coming in for a snuggle. Yes. I love you. Oh, I thought I was about to get a kiss. None of the kittens have given me kisses yet. What you doing? Oh, you see the zipper. You see the zipper. Ugh, the floor is too clean. Scooting around on it. It's good though. Just imagine this staring at you while you're trying to fall asleep. Like, let me put the 0.5 so it looks across the room-ish. Stripes. Stripes stares at me while I'm falling asleep and it's creepy. I love it though. I live for it. This just staring down at you while you sleep. Just imagine. You turn the lights around at her. Little demon overlord. She is kind of a little gargoyle. I'm not trying to talk smack about her at all, but she almost has like how Gunther's eyes kind of bug a little bit. They don't like bug out, but he just has big protruding eyes. And I wonder if she'll grow into hers, if they'll change over time, or if they'll stay like that. Perfect description, yes. She is a little gargoyle. Just that staring down at you. The Watcher. The Watcher. The Grabber. She's trying, but you guys are too far. She could be Grumpy Cat if she aspires to be. All she has to do is, stick her chin in the flower or something. You too could cosplay as Gunther Stripes. Miss Nibbla. You gonna chill for a bitty bit? Oh, Daisy's waiting for me in bed. Daisy is such a fucking princess. Every move that Daisy makes is like, Serena, keep me. And it's killing me. She's waiting in bed for me. She's snuggly as shit. She sleeps with me. Daisy, we can't do that unless we have to. She's like, but look at me, I'm so snuggly in the bed. Falling in love with this little bastard. The shadow knows. The shadow knows. See, no Nibbler knows. Nibbler's cute and Nibbler knows. Nibbler knows best. They're sitting at the corner of chest of drawers. She's pretty much nailed it. Yeah. She does look kind of extra gargoyle-y up there with like the fancy of the furniture. I have to make a million apologies next time I go visit my grandparents' graves and refinish all of this furniture. I feel bad. It's taken a bit of a beating since I've had it. Most of which from just moving it around because I have no concept of knowing how to decorate, like at all. It just doesn't make sense to me. The stream room is only the way it is and was before because my dad arranged it both ways. I don't know how to put furniture together. I feel like my house looks so ridiculous. Like when I had no furniture, like poor people furniture, like my starter furniture, it looked better than when it has nice furniture now because I don't know how to put the nice furniture together. Make it look good. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm just gonna post pictures of my furniture and the room layout in the Discord, and I'm gonna make you guys decorate for me. That's how we're gonna do the French. Well, I know how I want to set up the bedroom. And that's basically it. Outside of that, I have no idea. I got no idea. Nailed like one of Serena's tires. It was a screw. It got screwed. Thank you very much. It's a screw both times. That's Chicago construction for you. But it was interesting though. I assumed it was like a nail or a screw or something. And then I saw it right there as I was. Usually you have to look for it, but it was right there at the top of the tire when I went to fill it up. Right there. At least last time it happened, I could pinpoint pretty much where I thought it came from to avoid driving there. Because there was only one spot that was heavily under construction that I was driving through regularly. And this time, there's construction everywhere. So there's no way to pinpoint or tell where to avoid driving again. But that's okay. We get, well, not okay because we get a flat with no donut. But I'm going to ask about a donut tomorrow. Discount Tire does, for the life of the tire that you have it, they'll do free rotations, balances, repairs if you get a flat, etc. So I don't feel so bad about that. You decorators make a miniature model, throw everything in there and shake it up and put things where they land. So now would that be more or less feng shui? Oh, the baby girl. Baby girl, I will be back in with you shortly, Mama. I will. I love you, Stripies. I love you, Nibblies. Nibblies crunching, Stripies sleeping. Eepy girl. Eepy girl. Eepy girl. Let the hand of fate guide me. Oh my goodness. So what do you do if, like, for instance, this landed in front of Windows? Would you just live without the light? Or are you allowed to modify the system? Or do you have to try what the fates say first? You know me, I exist in absolutes, trying to abstract this theory. The shadow knows. I love that this has become such a broad reference. Who lacks the shadow? Stripes, I love you. You're a very sweet girl. Yes, you are. She's getting so lovey. You only tolerated me for a long time, and now you're starting to love me a little bit. And that's nice. I feel like she's giving me like one little parting gift before she goes off to her new family. Oh, Stripes wants some belly rubs. We want some belly rubs. We want some bellies. Some bellies. I find it so odd that she likes belly rubs. If I had to bet money, she would not be the cat that I would bet on for liking belly rubs. What you doing, Nibs? Say, okay, let's go. Adventure time. Adventure time. Okay, I don't think so, sister. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, we escaped. We escaped the babies. Oh my goodness. Part dog, clearly raised in the zoo household. Oh gosh. A dog smell was probably, maybe you're onto something there. Dog smell was probably one of the first smells, not worst, first smells that she was associated to. Because we had to go through the kitchen, where the dogs always are, to be able to take her and mom to the vet when she was being born. Hi, Voya. We love you, buddy man. We swap out of, I have 2 pairs of socks on. I'm going to swap out of the second pair so I don't spread germs any more than I could possibly have. Not too worried now that it's like sanitized, clean in there now, but still. Little firstborn. It's the firstborn. She was number one. Number one. Number one. I just find it so funny how their personalities are so perfectly adapted to firstborn child, middleborn child, and baby child. Oh, Zeke, you're up there. Oh my goodness. The shadow knows. Again. Can we see him? He's on the piano. He just looks like a statue. Zeke. What you doing, son? He looks embarrassed to be caught. I don't know. Are you able to get down? Do you want me to move my stuff? Is that better? I'm stuck, bro. I'm stuck. You have brothers you can call upon for that. No, we wouldn't want that to knock that over. That would not be good. I'm gonna nuke my coffee really quick and pop into some games or something. Maybe tomorrow we will set up the computer. I'd like to get it at least to make sure it works before the babies get spayed. Because I don't want to be dealing with drama from my computer currently while they're recovering. I want everything to be easy and simple. If I want to turn on baby cam and just shut up and leave it alone, I want to be able to do that and not have to run back and go, what's the temperature on that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No, I don't. Mwah. I don't want to do that. It does not sound like a good time. Gunther, I will be right back. I'll be right back. We're going to heat up Pinky, or heat up Drinky, and go teach him. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh boy. Hello, Gunther. Aw, my loyal boys. Feel so loved. Feel so loved. Tomorrow's Serena always has a lot of chores. Yes. Inevitably. Inevitably. And that's okay. It's a labor of love. It is a labor of love.
Can't complain about having food on your plate when the goal was to eat. That's what I think about every time I start to get feeling sorry about myself for, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that. Well, you can't complain about having food on your plate if the goal was to eat. You just can't. If you have breath to complain, you have breath to be grateful. Not saying that applies to all circumstances. We're allowed to complain about things, but still. Rudimentary, random, dumb life things are a privilege to have to deal with. Believe it or not. Or at least I've tricked myself into thinking that. So that I find them less arduous. Whether that's insane or not, I don't know. My goal is to complain, then you're filling out a lot of complaint forms, I guess. I meant to do it. They're still on mobile stream. Look at my cute little... Oh, it's stuck on the big cord. That's why it's making such a big sound and being such a pain. Look at my cute little air compressor. Look at the baby. I still haven't put it back in the garage. I was lazy. My cute little baby. My cute little baby. I'd only used it once before to fill up one of my truck tires a little bit at my grandpa's house. A long time ago. And I remember it getting a lot more PSI when I used it before than now. I don't know if it's getting old or something. Because it only got up to 40, and then I'd fill the tire, and then it would bop down to 20, and then it would only get to 40, and then it would bop down to 20, and I'd have to take a break. And it was interesting. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Exactly. If only more of the internet understood that. But no. Most of the internet is committed to being 12, physically or mentally. Computer, how mad or happy are you? Can we play games? It would be nice. Dude, I really think I need to upload some of my VODs onto ManyVids, which I think I can talk about educationally and in reality, because they're making like a safe for work side. So apparently all of your content on ManyVids is going to be suppressed unless you join the Creator Plus program, which sounds pretty dumb. So otherwise you're essentially going to be shadow banned if you don't upload 12 safe for work videos that are over 5 minutes each. Because like I have any of that. I'm just going to upload videos of the cats. Fuck it. No, that's weird. I don't want to cross those two things over. And then 10 safe for work items, which that's fine. I can just put my merch on there. I don't know why I'd put my merch on Throne instead of on here before. But 12 safe, I'm just going to upload some of my VODs. I don't want to do that. That's so much time. It's annoying. Everything will be suppressed otherwise. The compressor I've used as a pressure regulator on it. I think this one's too small to have something like that. It only builds up so much pressure inside, and then it gets used. And then it builds up more and it gets used. It builds up more and it gets used. Let's see. What can we do? What is running happy and not happy? And the most amazing part of all of this is I have updates waiting to run in the background. And I didn't realize that until, oh, this is like 9:27. So that did not get dealt with. Deal with that later. It's a problem for later, Serena. I should be happier. Should be happier. You guys are probably getting so sick of this, but let's play some Wizards. The BBs are all adopted. I want to get back into some Shdoom. And beat that motherfucker. Or maybe restart. Relearn. Or maybe go back to Eternal. And play that. And see if I learn anything from that that helps in this one. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really stuck with that guy. really stuck, bros. Oh my god. Can't get sick of nothing when there's Cats and Serena around. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it's just a derpy little child game. I mean, no it's not, but for lack of a better descriptor, it is. It sure is. Swap our category. It was pluralized wizards. Wizard. Wonderful. I always think of this game as like my secret sin almost, and I'm always genuinely surprised by how saturated the category is whenever I swap categories. This is such an ugly outfit. I hate this. I'm not a fan. It's not okay. It's not okay. Do, do, do. Play. Enter game. I always think there's something on here. There never is. I don't think there's ever like a little freebie thing. No, it's just stuff and things. We leveled up. Should we try to beat that other lady? Kept killing me. What's her face? Let's try. Magic the Gathering with cute characters. I do kind of think of it as like a junior Magic or like a junior WoW. You know, this is what you play when you're like 10 to figure out if that's what you want to play when you're like 12, 13, 14. I need mana. Mana!
Oh, mana, mana, mana. It's not very busy in here tonight. It's a school night. Everyone's eeping. Can't get no more mana. I can't get no more mana. Only the pre-degens of the world are on tonight. The future degens of the world. The future and current. Played Magic back in the day. I never played Magic the Gathering. I'm not cool. And I should have. I would have saved myself some embarrassment. This one time at C2E2. But I didn't know any better, and it's okay. I had friends that played it, but I was more interested in collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Not really even playing Yu-Gi-Oh, just collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards for no other reason than why not? Well, I did have nerdy friends. I had friends that played Magic, but I never got into it. But the back of the cards look so similar to Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I got super excited talking to an author at C2E2, and I saw the cards and I was like, oh my god, they're like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Their business card had the Magic the Gathering whatever print on it. And I, without glasses and without brain cells, said, oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! And then his assistant was like, they're Magic the Gathering. Like, in that way that nerdy guys say things to absolutely shut down the dumb girl. That exact tone. Same tone the mechanics use when you think you know what you're talking about, or do know what you're talking about, or pretend you know what you're talking about. Same exact tone. But I did come back and see them the second day that I was there, and he was nicer to me. I shot the shit with them for a little bit. I redeemed myself and my nerddom. That was embarrassing, though. Like, I got called out on it. I got talked down to for it. And I was wrong to begin with. MTG tend to look down on Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, man. So I made it even worse. I was not doing myself any favors there. I should have said Pokemon. But they looked like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I try really hard not to talk down to people like that. And I appreciate that. And I'm sure many others do as well. It's not a good feeling to be made to feel stupid. It's one thing I try very hard not to do in life. Unless I'm getting ridiculously trolled to the point where it's just plain stupid. Try very hard not to make other people feel stupid. That's not a good feeling. It's a very bad one. Feels bad, man. And I felt very stupid. But now it makes a lot more sense why it was like a sudden shift of like, this girl is a potential customer to like, this girl is for sure a dup fuck. You're just jealous they don't have a Magic the Gathering anime. Why didn't they ever make one? Why not? I mean, like, WoW even got a movie. Maybe a couple movies? There's a handful of, like, smaller indie shows or movies that are similar in concept, though. The title of any I cannot think of at the moment. Well, she might be too tough. I don't know. As much as I hate to say it, I feel like Netflix could make a cute little Magic series. Cobra, attack! Attack, attack! Attack, attack! Did a deal and brought in a Final Fantasy sets they kind of do now. And The Last Airbender as well. No shit! Magic is doing a bunch of crossover stuff. Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, The Last Airbender, all of Magic the Gathering cards. Plus, they branched out to media in like a completely different way. That's cool. I like that. Can they make Magic the Gathering Yu-Gi-Oh cards now? I want a tabletop RPG version of Dark Magician Girl, please. Star Trek is coming, and so is Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. Oh shit! Star Trek. Oh, I keep forgetting to look into whatever that Star Trek game is sponsory. I want to check it out and pull up a YouTube thing after I either die or don't die here. I don't know if that's a good choice. We're gonna try that. Cast Photon Torpedo. Full spread for 3 swamps. I cast Beam Me Up, Scotty. Get me out of here. The nerds are yelling at me. I want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh no! Health card, please? Health card. Do I still have the email up, or did I lose it again? Oh, I still have the GoCam connected. Oops. I don't know, email disappeared. To go into my email like a fucking commoner. Oh, actually. Let's do this. Actually, factually. Oh, did I close my other easy tab? I guess I did. Serena. Gmail.com. Heck, you could just use all of Scotty phrases and they'd be great cards. Admiral, there be whales up here. Whale attack. Oh no, I'm gonna die. I should have cast health. Damn it! I didn't look at health. This is not good. Unless that... Oh. She has to fizzle, or he has to fizzle, and it can't be something strong. And then I need a health card next turn. Fizzle. 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 Yes! But I need a health card. I can't... No! I can't annihilate them in the next... anything. Oh, fuck. It's just... die trying. And say that, I almost guarantee there will be an instant spell to bounce a creature. Maybe. Oh my god, they're giving me a chance. Health card! They've taken pity on me. I've died so many times in here. This does prove my point, though. I'm barely leveled up enough to participate in here. I did something wrong in the order of operations of queuing up quests. Oh, she's gonna attack. Fuck. Okay. This bitch. Rude. Health. Prioritize health of all. They're protected anyway. Think that'll hurt me less because I'm also a dark card? I don't know. Or a dark character. A dark card. The Dark Lord. Oh, that's Void. The Princess of Darkness. Mother. Give me my good cards. Oh. It's an 8 or a 9. It's an 8. That's an 8. I thought that was a 9. Okay. Just die. Die! Die! She resisted. Oh, she is of the darkness as well. God damn it. Gunther is up on the desk. Go, Gunther, go. Go, Gunther, go. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Gunther has entered the chat. Big, beautiful boy. I think he is ready for some lap. He's a little too short to make it over here, though. I'm gonna die now. I'm dead. I'm dead. Now we're ready for lap time. Lap time! Zeke's still up on the piano. Very happy for you. I'm glad that brings you joy. I'm dead. Dead. Fucker. Oh, that was a creepy sound. What was... Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep forgetting about this. And if it's something I want to play it sooner than not. I'm not in the right email. How do I even see without making this full screen? Yes. Oh, where was it from? Was it from Stream Elements? Maybe I should just search Star Trek. I feel like there's less emails that have, let's say, Star Trek than Stream Elements sponsor. Star Trek Fleet Command. Is that the one they sent before too? Yes. Jeez, I'm getting this notification since November. It's probably like almost over. He is such a cute little grumpy cat. Grumpy cat, grumpy cat. You are so beautiful. I love you. Oh, him purr. Him happy. Him purr. Play free on desktop. What does it actually look like? Easy to start but gets progressively harder. Giggity. Gotta grind. Shipbuilding and crew selection. I don't like building. I might like it though. I don't know. I have to like many other things about the game to do things that generally I don't like. Jeez. It's hardly a game, it's a glorified menu design. I love Reddit. Oh my god. It's hardly a game, it's a glorified menu designed to ease you in and then drain you to the point of spending money to progress. Fuck with me, I'm frugal. I want to try it just to challenge that now. The game has loads of tech trees to progress through. You have a lot of options, however due to each one having strict requirements to actually just a straight line. The gameplay is clicking on something and waiting for it to happen. Oh, kind of like the Game of Thrones one we did. Everything takes an immense amount of time, so the most important item in the game you need to grind out are time skips. The game dishes them out quickly to start with, and they dry out, meaning you have to wait incredibly long to grind up or pay money. I mean, grind games with time constraints don't really bother me too much in that sense, though, because we bebop around and do things with the zoo. Like, it's not annoying to play for like 30 minutes, queue stuff up, get it going, and then bebop around at the zoo, do something else, then come back to it. It's probably not how they want you to play it, but that's how I play it. Switch at a certain point, the game unlocks you for PvP. Oh god. Ah! One sec. That was gross. I'm pretty sure that something that got grinded off of my teeth when I was at the dentist earlier was probably in between my teeth and just spawned itself. I didn't like my hygienist today. She was not the most gentle, and I don't think the most efficient. Zero identity of its own. It's a Kelvin timeline, but you unlock stuff from the shows. Zero explanation. The characters are nice 3D models. If you view them, there's just window dressings. They're nothing more than minor stat boosts. The game's story will refer to simple characters. Try and find Kelvin and Scotty, even if they're on one of your ships. Oh. Like every official Star Trek game I can, a few unofficial ones. Fleet Command is easily the worst experience I had with any of them. It's not a game, it's psychological manipulation. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, I mean, am I supposed to just leave us hanging on why I disappeared to the here for a moment? I'm not creative enough to come up with a lie that would be better than whatever that was. But I'm also not gonna pick around in my mouth and go something live on. That's a little too far. Give me YouTube. The mystery! Maybe I should try to keep the mystery alive more. I don't know, what if someone thinks I'm doing something sus? No, I just had a mouth moment. I don't know. Trailer. You need to turn off the sound effects for game. Those are still playing. Sound. Let's just do sound off for a sec. Will they have a channel? Showdown reveal. It's only 50 seconds long. Publisher's Clearinghouse just rang the doorbell. Be nice. This looks way better than what it's gonna be. Oops. Wait, that's 7 years ago. Is that correct? It sounds like the correct premise.
Star Trek Fleet Command, you have the com. Download now.
Is it only mobile? I don't know if this sounds like a good idea. You can play on PC. Or on mobile. I don't know, it might be worth a try. I kind of want to try it just out of stubbornness. So they're saying it's so bad, I want to see if it's so bad. Like, there's a lot of bad games out there that I actually like. Because what people don't like about them, I don't find irritating. Like having to play forever or spend a bunch of money on something. Like, I don't mind waiting. I'll just let it run overnight. I don't care. I don't care. Cutscenes can be very misleading, and they certainly like juice up the trailers and whatnot for them, so it just looks super extra good. Yeah, I think reviews are the way to go. Gameplay videos will just confuse me. I think reviews are the what to look at. Just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing first. That toy is so sensitive. Sometimes the kittens jump on the floor and then it triggers it to go off. They're just like behind that wall still. That's a long review. 2025. I mean, that's last year. How bad is? Like, maybe it got better? That one says it got better and worse. I feel like to watch that one, you would have to know. 5 years ago.
Hello everybody and welcome
let's
to
try
the video.
this.
My name is Midway and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I sure am. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my own personal opinion about Star Trek Fifth Command and whether or not I find this
The
game
kind of
to be
soothing
fun
interface.
as a new player. Since I started playing about a couple months ago really, and I have progressed a fair bit, but not that.
Okay, what did I miss? Bastards went out of business and terminated the payouts to those who won. All winners got installment payments. Really? Publishers Clearinghouse isn't a thing anymore? That's nuts. It's scummy. Wonder if they already planned that. If the magazine business basically ending brought their demise. I wonder. It might have been willful ignorance too, like predicting that the magazine would end and making sure that they kept all the funds that they could and planned for when it would go under, so to speak. It wouldn't surprise you tech sprang up so fast they couldn't really plan around it. That is true too. And honestly, probably a combination of both. Magazine business basically ending was probably 50% of it, and corporate greed was probably at least the other 50% of it.
That much really. And I'm just going to be giving you my 2 cents of what I just think overall about this game. Now, Star Trek Fifth Command is a very, very, very complex game. There is many different things where you can progress through, just like pretty much a game that's really respectable nowadays. But it has a depth that is different in the sense that it's not
Corporate
just
greed doesn't have an expiration date.
No,
No, it does not.
It's more like you can see that there is a progression to be made long term. You can value that once you start getting things together and putting all the pieces together. These can be a standalone game that you can play for actual long periods of time.
No, there's not like one person controlling the madness of every company that exists out there. But corporate greed just kind of baffles me, and it really just makes me wonder how much money truly does change people. Again, I know there's not like one person just being evil at the head of all, and generally need like approval from board of directors or whatever, but I'd really like to think if I ever had like that significant of an amount of money, I wouldn't be terrible with it. And it surprises me that so many people are. But then there are so many people in the world that are affluent and do good things. So it's not a universal experience, but it's like, is there really so few people out there in the affluent circle that actually are good? Is there really so few? Like, faith for humanity in that subset of beings that can really be expanded to any category of financial well-being. Humanity in general. It does not give me hope.
Game where you are hard locked behind.
All CEOs are basically Dr. Evil in my mind. Well, I have to constantly remind myself that it's generally not just one person sitting there going. But there are probably a handful, not a couple handfuls of people sitting there going. which
There's so
is
many
what's
of them.
I honestly, now that I say it out loud instead of just in my head, that's actually worse. Instead of just one person being awful, there's like a handful of people being awful. Oh, jeez. Right, I gotta go back in my bubble. That's too much reality for one day.
And as a free-to-play player, you can pretty much do them all, as far as I can tell. Especially
Can't
early
do
on.
it.
I haven't found anything where I was not able to just do a thing because of a paywall.
It's the reason why so many
You will just
dystopian
have
future stories of
gameplay upon
corporation as
gameplay
big
upon
baddies.
hours and hours and hours of things to do.
It's just an
which
extension
will
of
feel
Big Brother
rewarding.
taking
Honestly, it
over.
feels rewarding to explore the galaxy if you
Or the
know how it
concept
goes.
of.
Of course,
But the
massive
concept
amount
has
of
become
information
reality.
or the vast amount
In
of
different
content you
ways.
can just looking
There,
at
there are
this
many
spectrum
overlaps in
find.
today's society that 1984
As
very
like
much
a new
predicted.
player really feels I like that idea. I like the idea that this is not just a game where you will go to your base.
Even just
right?
simple
You
things
have
like
your
cameras
location,
everywhere.
you have your base,
But
you
it all
have
builds
your-
from that.
your little
It all
buildings,
builds
and
from that.
then of course many of these games you will just upgrade
What
yourself
do you
once you reach
mean?
a certain point.
Umbrella Corporation will merge with Skynet,
8 hours
and
to
will
do
take
anything.
care of all of
That
us.
is not the kind of fun that I enjoy on a mobile game, right? It's
Yes, just
honestly
trust the
norm
process.
for
Everything will be
most
fine, right?
mobile games, right? When you get to that
Yep.
point that you are locked as a free-to-play player, especially. But it's not just that. It offers all that broad range of things that you can see and just expect to be getting to that point eventually. No more of that. There is of course the whole.
There might be
range
too much in this that I would
broad
not enjoy.
system of upgrading your ship. If you go to the shipyard, there is many different upgrades and kinds of ships you can.
It might
just
be worth a
expect
try.
yourself to be getting to eventually. A lot of them free to
This
play,
is
some
not
of them you
selling
have to
me
pay
on it.
for. These as a whole.
I'll be
is
honest,
just
and I
as
mean, it's
exciting.
Star
It's
Trek.
like
I wouldn't
something to
expect
look
them to make
forward
it pretty
right?
like
If
My
you're a
Little
fan
Pony, you
of
know? Because it's Star Trek,
that
not My Little
is,
Pony.
of course, a plus. You
But
know some of this and what their
it's just,
importance
it's
is,
not
but
like
just
visually
generally talking about them,
attractive.
they look cool. If you
It's
go
very
to
similar to the
any
Game of
of
Thrones
their
game that we did,
own
but that was
shipyard here,
visually
they all
stimulating.
do look cool. You can just check them out, and there is a button over here.
This
It's
is more a
just,
technical
scroll in,
feeling.
zoom in, see what they look like. They do look cool.
Funny thing
You
being
can see
America
how
having
they respond
actual
them.
Skynet program,
Now
do we?
I know there is some other options to also customize them, so there's also that.
What is it for?
It is cool to just have upgrade your ship, get a better crew on them, see them change, see the power, just get bigger and bigger. Now that's not just talking fun. That's more of an aspect of what the game excites me about it, what entices me to play, and what I feel that it is exciting. But there's more to it. Of course, the gameplay is pretty damn simple, at least early on. Of course, you just select the
It's gonna be
select the
bedtime
ship,
soon.
and
I think
click
we're gonna
on
have to
that, and the ship
pause
will
on
just
Wizards
go
for the
there
night.
and do everything
I
for you.
gotta
There's
be
not
up
much stuff
early,
to become, at
pearly
least as far as I know, as a new
for
game.
Car and
But
Zeke.
once you start to get more ships, you unlock more dry docks and such. You will start.
I don't know,
to be able to
maybe
just,
Tire Place doesn't open until
multitask
8.
with it. You will be able to send one ship to one system. You will be finishing one quest with one of your ships, and that one is going to whatever system. Once you
We
are
did
finished
around
with the
10
other
years
one,
ago,
you
part of
go to
NSA
here. So
surveillance over
you
the
sort
Middle
of have
East.
things to keep
Sheesh.
track of. The complexity also grows, but also you're not.
Can we be
bored
more
just waiting
original
for
with
it to finish and you're just
program
like,
names?
just coming to do a single task. You can do multiple things at once, and that is.
You gotta
something that I
reuse
do
Skynet.
find quite
But
fun.
you gotta
It's
say
straight up
MK
just
Ultra and
fun.
make me think of Michelob.
It is enjoyable
Like,
to be able to have a list
why?
of things you want to do, list of things that you
Don't have the clearance to know if they're still active. I don't think I have anyone I can ask anymore that would know. That probably wouldn't be, probably shouldn't tell me anyway.
So what can I do about this? And then I'm sure there's gonna be multiple systems that are gonna be all coming together to make that even better. Maybe you can have multiple.
Probably
stations,
should not be
you can
privy to that
have
information,
stations,
but
you can
it's
do
fun to know
other
things
stations,
sometimes.
you can have your own station, you can attack other stations. So PvP so far, as far as I could tell, is just vegan.
I don't think anyone I know that is military is active duty anymore,
As
though.
I could tell, it is not the most exciting thing ever, but at the same time,
I had a friend who was military who essentially like broke down 9/11 and explained how the entire thing happened to me. That was interesting. But I don't think he serves anymore. I think he did his time and he's done. Like a very high up security clearance. He's very smart man.
I don't find this exciting or not, but whatever, you can just become a pirate and just attack whatever you like. That is kind of cool, but it just
Not always very nice though.
and getting stuff out of them seems kind of cool. Now early on, of course, I'm drawing in resources because of a lot of the events and such, so I don't find myself being gatekept by all that. I do find many of the events they are just coming up and all these little tasks that you could do.
See what they
even
mean
without
about the
tasks
time
as a
stuff.
free-to-play player.
Welcome,
But
Smoops.
that all feels
Happy
quite
Purrsday.
cool. I don't want to say fun, it's just cool because
I'm
it doesn't
Gunther
really hinder your
Cat.
progression much. You can still
And
just
myself.
do basically everything while just having enough resources. If you are ever falling behind, you will easily just reach a point or something will give you a massive amount of resources you're going to be able to
Oh, that's
just keep
reassuring.
going. So yeah, I haven't
The only
really
active
found a
duty you guys,
wall where
you
I
know,
can
is in the
afford.
Air
Also, I
National
haven't really
Guard.
played this as
Instead of
that
wireless
much
networks
as I
at
could have,
bases.
but if this is to be your main
Nice.
game, I am sure you would eventually be hitting that wall, so your opinion would be.
I feel like that would be
changed.
both
But
easy
really,
and
there's
complicated
also
to
plenty of
do.
resources, plenty of mods in the game that has a whole PC client.
Just an IT
You don't
guy
even
in
need
camo.
to be using an emulator to play this on your PC. So yeah, this is a lot more than just as simple as mobile game. There is pay to win, of course, but there is a lot more to it, right? So that is a little bit of my 2 cents what I think about it. I think it's fun. I think there is a lot of depth to it, and it's not just a boring as mobile game. There is.
It doesn't look very pretty,
a
but
lot of
maybe it makes up
investment
for
into
that.
the community as
It,
well as just a lot
it
of
might be
fun
worth a
on it.
try.
So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Before you go, if you
I don't know.
are not yet using Apple, you should definitely check it out. It's going to give you from a 10% all the way up to 35% discount on future purchases. So let me just show you quickly if we go to the store. Whenever you are making a purchase,
What are you telling me to do?
what's going to happen is that that's not
I
the
don't
store, actually,
plan
it's
on
this one.
buying things. I'm good. I don't think it's very popular anymore. I think anyone who was playing it did quit. It's not many recent reviews. Top 10 new player tips. That would be good to come back to if we need it. We probably need it. That's about it. What? Or that is Cam Girl. Over it. Over it. Zeke, be careful bopping down. Bless you. You can't sneeze mid-climb. That throws off your equilibrium, my friend. You shouldn't be climbing on the piano anyway. You have a fancy leg. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless your soul. Bless your soul. Bless your soul. Oh my goodness, son. Was this so loud before? Jeez. It's a bit much. Pretty much exactly like that. He's a big nerd, so I think he likes it. I would imagine so. Or at least doesn't mind it, if not likes it. Doesn't like being sent all over the world that much, though. I would imagine not. That'd be very annoying for me to have to relocate. I wouldn't like that. How does the National Guard work? Do you do a certain amount of years? And then that's it? Or is it a different layout? Like when you join the army, they'll have you for XYZ amount of years and then like pay for your school, and then you can sign up for more duty, etc. And I think all of that expands your pension and whatnot later on in time, and you probably get a higher pay grade or something. You just have to be able to pass the physical to go back into active duty, I think. I don't know all the things. I only know some of the things. Most of the time it's like double the amount of years or active service, or you're on standby. That makes a little bit, with it being National Guard, that makes it a little bit more sense, I think. Bless you. Bless you, bless you. You have to be there if needed, but you are not always as needed as other lines of defense. Need a day job, but have to show up for training and to be deployed whenever they want. That's not fun. I knew I didn't join for a reason. I wouldn't like that instability. That would make me so anxious. Wake up every morning and not know what the fuck is about to happen. I would not like that. I would live in perpetual stress. That would not be good times. I feel like that just takes a lot of mental fortitude right there, beyond all of the training and etc. that you have to go through. Gunther, are you EP? We gotta get some EPs. We do. Alright, Club Cult. Thank you for a wonderful night. Thank you for all of your time, your chats, your support, and your company. I do have 2 more stars that I need to make, but I need more construction paper first. So I only have 2 pieces left. I never thought I'd run out of yellow construction paper, but I did. I sure did. I'm surprised. He started, he became a huge smoker of vapor, so that's his chosen outlet. I feel like that's like association to everyone else around you, though. Anyone military I know is... Now, a couple of them have moved to like the pouches that you put in your cheek or something. I don't really know how those work. I don't plan on trying that. But guys that I've known for years that like never smoked, never vaped. Well, vaping hasn't been a thing for very long. It started up just because all the younger guys started doing it in the barracks and whatnot. Like, why? If you've made it to like 35 and not exposed yourself to nicotine, or like very rarely exposed yourself, why would you start? I don't know. Maybe those patchy things, whatever they are safe. I don't know. Or is safer. I know nothing of them. I know nothing of it. It just surprises me a little bit. But I think it's the kind of mentality, like when you're in high school, if your friends smoke, you're probably going to smoke also. You get all the young dudes coming in and they're doing all the things, and it's not even a fitting in thing. It's just you see everyone else doing it and you feel left out if you're not. Or someone tells you how good it is or whatever. Human mind is an amazing thing. We can convince ourselves of so many things, whether terrible or wonderful. I kind of doubt that they're safe either, but I wonder if they're less bad than like cigarettes, etc. I think they're marketed as mostly like an energy boost. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of money right now is going into studies for correlating tobacco with focus. And I think those Zyn pouches, what they're being marketed as the most is to replenish energy. Which, I mean, I guess, like, smoking a cigarette might be healthier than drinking a Monster on certain organs. But in the long term, both are bad. There's no good answer here. I mean, even too much coffee is bad for you. Like, come on now. There are consequences to everything. I'm sure Big Tobacco is happy to hear that. I'm sure they're funding the research. I have no doubt in my mind that they're funding most of the research. If there's not actual research going on, there's an immense amount of keyboard warrior research going on at the moment. Because I see those things pop up on my TikTok all the time. It's like, oh. Okay. Either way, the masses are being informed that this is apparently a good thing. So, c'est la vie, and so be it. Thank you all for a wonderful night. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your chats. Thank you for your support. And thank you for being your wonderful selves. More than anything. Thank you for your time. Your time is very valuable. And whether it is for 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hours, or I'll see you again for 2 years. When our times collide, it is magical, beautiful, amazing, and incredible. And I'm a grateful girly. Free time is not free. It is this finite thing that we only get so much of and cannot make more of. When you choose to spend your time here, when you're able to spend your time here, it means the world to me. And I am a grateful, grateful girly. 10 years from now, a third party will research it and find out how bad it really is. Probably. Probably. It won't affect me, though. I know smoking and vaping is bad, obviously. Everyone knows it's bad, obviously. But I have this horror image in my mind, and I know these things can happen from putting tobacco anywhere in your mouth, whether you're inhaling it, whether you're putting a pouch, whether you have dip or whatever. but I remember the pictures from Dare. Yes, Dare actually got into my head. It didn't stop me from being a smoker for many years, but it actually got into my head. The pictures of the people with mouth cancer from chewing tobacco. Anytime I see the Zyn pouches or anything similar, that's all I can think of, and I will never try those. Because those were horrible pictures. It's like missing parts of your jaw. Nope. That is for horror costume and makeup, not for reality. Not for reality. So we can guess the age of people if they know Dare. Dare is still around though. I think. My niece and nephew went through Dare, and that was, I mean, now probably about 10 years ago, but it was around at least until then for the 2000s kids. Because they were born early 2000s. I don't think it is. What? What would they have changed it to? Does Dare still exist? These are the important questions I ask in life. At the height of its popularity. So maybe not. Is Dare still running? The program still exists, and it celebrated its 40th anniversary last year. So, I mean, technically you can age someone from it. You know they're 40 or less if they know Dare. What is the new version of Dare? The new program is called Keeping It Real. R-E-A-L. Because it focuses less on lectures and more on interactive activities, such as practicing refusal and saying no to pressure. It is now less explicitly focused on the opposition to drugs, with the broader aim of teaching good decision making. Hey, you know what? Actually, I like that. That's good. Because I'm pretty sure they showed us videos of crackheads and said, this is what pot does to you. Like when you're like slow and you can't say things like me when I'm tired. Yeah, Dare kind of like went hand in hand with the see something, say something concept. I feel like that was part of like the parental contract too. Where if myself or my friends get into trouble, you will pick me up with no question and no judgment and bless you. Bless you! I wonder how many other parents signed that and didn't mean a word of it. Well, I don't know if my dad actually would have stuck to it or not. I was too afraid to call him anytime I got into trouble doing something I wasn't supposed to. Whoop. Signed without reading. I mean, you had to get it signed to pass, I think. I wonder what would happen if your parents didn't sign it. Like, you would personally know that you're fucked. But I wonder if you would have been allowed to pass. I don't know. Dare was what really cemented, like, my social anxiety and hatred for speeches, because you had to write an essay at the end of it for what you learned and what you'll implement in your life forwardly and blah, 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 whatever. And I ended up winning, like, the best essay, and I had to read it in front of the auditorium for some kind of thing, the Dare graduation, whatever it was. And that was horrible. I'd never given a big speech like that before in front of a lot of people, and my voice shook, and I, like, couldn't breathe. It was nerve-wracking. It's not good times. Know that you're a confirmed forger of Father TV's signature. He actually signed that one. But I did forge his signature with permission a lot. But he did actually sign that one. But I don't think he would have adhered to it. I don't think so. Reading your essay in front of a big group seems more like punishment than praise. Yeah. It's not a good time. It's very interesting, though, because I'd done, like, theater productions in the fall and winter. Or not in the fall and winter. In the winter and spring. Maybe it was fall and spring. It's like I acted every year and I did choir. Like, I was used to being in front of crowds, but saying a speech was scary. I think the big thing that made me nerve-wracked was the teacher had honed in on good speech giving practices. So, like, don't look down at your paper and just read off of it and say
I don't have a paper that says anything in front of me. No, you're supposed to... I try to implement this in streaming, but I often forget. Where is somewhere in this it's evening? English. How to apply. Start with clean lashes. Use applicator to gently pull cluster off tray, avoiding the adhesive lash band. Place lash cluster. Like, you're not supposed to read off your paper. You're supposed to start with clean lashes. Use applicator to gently pull cluster off tray, avoiding the adhesive lash band. Place lash cluster under your natural lashes, away from waterline. You're supposed to look up. I think that's where I tripped myself up. Should just let me read it like this. Why not? You know what? I just learned too, and these are the fake lash pieces, not whole ones, that I was struggling with. And I think I actually see where I went wrong, because I was trying to put them on my waterline. And I was starting from the inner corner, working my way out, and you're supposed to do it the opposite. Maybe you should read instructions for things. I'm now learning. On that note, what is on my keyboard? Oh, some of the paint from the drip bear. I forgot to show you guys how that turned out. Gunther, can we go fetch? He's so cute. He has a bald spot. I missed. But he turned out cute. His feet also got stuck to the cardboard. That's a project for another day, Serena. He turned out amazing, though. I love him. He's kind of sticky, like he's dry. But I want to paint him with a clear coat after I clean his feet. But I figure until that, it doesn't matter that he has stuff on his feet. Because I don't want him to accidentally stick somehow to the counter. Well, you're stuck. You did a stick stuck. Oh, Gunther, you're very... Holy, where are you stuck? Buddy. Jesus. His thumb stuck in my shoulder, but like crossed over. Getting me. You got me. Read the instructions like hell. Well, I mean, the last time I tried them, I was like, this is a wash. It's not gonna work. So maybe I do need to read the instructions. You got instructions telling you to put lashes in your waterline. You dig the main leading up to the building and put them there. Yeah, because you know everyone wants to dig a 6-foot trench just to put one tiny particle of lash. He did do a good little travel. I'm proud of that. Usually he fusses when I walk and pick him up. Oh, but you're digging me with your back claws. You can't do lap right now. You're doing it awkward. You're doing it awkward. Little travel man. You guys want to keep up with the zoo and I hop into the Disky Boo. Otherwise, we got the fun stuff. Oh my god, caps lock. The socials. Some more fun stuff. The sketch that is not up to date for next week and forward. For when I will see you Bebs next. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was trying to hold that in before it was runaway time, and I did not make it. And now my voice is gonna completely die for the end of stream. Just trying. Just trying so hard. But thank you all also for being a part of the Stream the Dreams project. It means the world to me. And thank you, thank you, thank you for being used. It's the Sarita's still unfortunately sick voice. It's very annoying. My throat is too scratchy to drink right now. If I drink, I'm probably gonna choke. So I can't. Thank you all so much, oopsies, for our support with the holidays. I'm not even going to attempt an ow. Imagine the ow in your mind's eye, please and thank yous.
Crunchy voice, feed the zoo time, and I'll see you soon's time. Thank you all for a wonderful night yet again. Do me one favor until I see you next, and that is remember that you are wonderful, amazing, spectacular, fantastic, phenomenal. Oh my god, this is annoying. All of the good things in the world, and oh so gorgeous. Take all those compliments and get me some lozenges. Just kidding. Put them in your back pocket, your side pocket, your cute little hoodie pocket, your adorable little shirt pocket, floating in suspended animation, wherever it needs to go. Until I see you next, you sweet bubbos. Ow, Serena in the zoo. I have to do like a baby voice to not crunch it. Oh, no, that's still not gonna work. we got one. 1 out of 1. Limited edition. There we go. Thank you all for a wonderful night. Thank you for chilling with the fur babies with me, little kitten beans. You were chilling with Mama and the boys, playing a little emphasis on a little bit of games. Just having a chill little Purrsday. I appreciate you, Beebs, and I hope you all get some good sleep tonight. Get some good eats in you. And if I don't see you, may the rest of the week be kind to you. Good night, Club Cult. Shall see you for the next one. Be beautiful. Beautiful rest of your night.